welcome to Sandboys Stadium in Las Vegas for EA Supercross 2000, the finals. I'm Terry Boyd, and tonight history is going to be made for two reasons. Number one, it's the first time ever for live Supercross in the comfort of your own home for the suggested retail price of $14.95. Check with your local cable or satellite provider. The other big deal, how about $500,000, a cool $500,000 in the Vans Triple Crown of Supercross. The only rider who has a chance to do that is David Vuillemin. Another rider who's made a ton of history on his own, how about 7 titles, is Jeremy McGrath. And our own Jamie Little is standing by with Jeremy.
That's right, Terry. I'm here with the man, Jeremy McGrath. Jeremy, you already wrapped up 7 last weekend, got it all wrapped up. You're going into this race. How are you looking at it?
I think the monkey's on Vuillemin's back now. You know, he's got the pressure of winning the 500 grand from the Vans Triple Crown. And I don't have anything. You know, I won the championship last week, so, you know, all the weight's off my shoulders. And I mean, I'm just going to go out there and, I mean, normally for Vegas, if the championship's done for me, I'm able to ride really loose, so that's what I'm going to hopefully try and do.
Well, you're notorious for coming out there, even though you have it wrapped up, everybody is saying, oh, he's just going to go out there and ride around, whatever, but you want to come out here and you want to win this. So what happens if Vuillemin's on your back tire? Is it a battle? You guys coming down, you going to hold him off?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, every year when I win the championship early, or if I do, and, you know, everyone says, oh, yeah, he's just going to cruise into Vegas. And, you know, by now everyone should know. It's been, what, 10 years? Everyone should know my style by now. I don't do that. I'm coming out to win each race and each weekend, and if David's on my tire, I'm going to do the very best I can not to let him win.
You've held him off 4 times. Perhaps you can hold him off tomorrow night and get your 70th win. He has 69 Supercross wins going into this race.
Yeah, that's quite unbelievable, you know. Who would have thought that? I mean, when I was little, all I wanted to do was race Supercross. I never imagined of having, you know, 7 championships. The amount of wins I have, it's crazy. I don't even understand it.
I know, and you know, people always want more, and I know people have asked you, right when you win your 7th championship, are you going to be back next year to do it again?
You know, I mean, every year I race, I'm going to try and win the championship. I'm not coming out to have a farewell tour or anything like that. I mean, I'm not even thinking about retirement yet. I still got, obviously, I can win 9 races, you know, this year. I mean, obviously, I'm a dominant factor in the series, and even though I'm a lot older than the guys, you know, I don't feel it.
Well, Jeremy, we're happy to have you out here. First time on pay-per-view. We got a lot of viewers that are going to be tuning in to watch you. A lot of them know your name, but don't even know the sport of Supercross. Yeah,
I'm really excited. It's our first time. It's going to be live, and, you know, we're going to get some new fans, I'm sure.
All right, there you have it. MC, I'll send it back on up to you, Terry.
Team Yamaha's David Vuillemin hopes to hit the jackpot tonight in Las Vegas with $500,000. Well, as usual, he was French cool about the whole thing.
Yeah, I know everybody don't want me to win this money, but I don't care too much. I don't care too much about the money. I just care about winning the race and have fun. And that shows that would be a great bonus for me to get this Triple Crown. But I will try to win like last week, and I rode good in Joliet. I had a bad luck on the start, but I came back 2nd, and hopefully if I can ride like that and start top 3, I can win the race. Yeah, I'm not a gambler. I just want to put this money on my bank account, and my bank will be very happy about that. I want to win very bad, you know, because, you know, last week I had like bad luck, but I rode a good race, and I want to win. I want to race with Jeremy because it's a lot of fun.
In a city that's been built on dreams, cash, and numbers, one man hopes to cash in on all 3 in the Vans Triple Crown of Supercross. The cash is $500,000. The dream is David Vuillemin's from Team Yamaha. He is the only guy with a chance to win that $500,000 put up by Vans tennis shoes. It all started in Phoenix, Arizona, then it went to Minneapolis, and it wraps up here tonight in Las Vegas. If he can win tonight, because he's already won at the other 2 cities, he gets $500,000. Odds are, though, 19 other guys don't care about David's financial future. They care about their own, and they're vying to knock him out of that #1 spot.
Well, I'm not a Vuillemin fan, so so hopefully, you know, I mean, this is my last chance to win a race, and I'd love to do it so he doesn't. So, but I'm ornery, so we'll just look at it that way. Yeah.
Well, he was there last weekend, and you know, he made a pretty aggressive pass on me with the last lap to you know, get in the 2nd place, and you know, I'm pretty sure that he realized that he's got a pretty big target on his back, and hopefully I can be there to return the favor for him this weekend and take that $500,000 away from him.
Well, I haven't won a race all year. I've won races the last 2 years, so I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to win. For me to win would be more important than $500,000, so I'm going to do whatever I can to win.
If I can't win $500,000, I don't want no one to win $500,000.
Remember, you can see Jeremy McGrath along with David Vuillemin and all the stars of the EA Sports Supercross 2000, the final round here tonight in Las Vegas. All you have to do is contact your local cable operator or satellite provider for the suggested retail price of $14.95. You get it in the comfort of your home. Forget about it. We're sold out here tonight. The only way to see these stars is in your home tonight, live pay-per-view. Local cable operator, local satellite provider, suggested retail price, $14.95. Now, besides all the stars that are riding, we're going to catch up with Jimmy Button, see how he's coming along in his recuperation from that crash he had in San Diego at round number 3. And let's talk about the track for a moment. This is the largest track in the history of Sam Boyd Stadium. Pace Motorsports has gone through the roof with a track tonight. And for more on that is former 250 Supercross champion and 500 Outdoor National champion, David Vuillemin.
From the start right here, you've got a 100-yard dash to a tight first corner, 180 degree, and back through a tough rhythm section. Right here, you make a 90-degree left and head into some sand. And then something new this year in Vegas, they actually go outside the stadium right here, over a big tunnel jump, which sets right here. And as they come back into the stadium, there's a triple in this section right here. They hit at speed. But the first really big triple sits right here, 70 feet across there into a right-hand turn, and a whoop section split up by a double jump right in the middle, something we haven't seen so far this season. Another triple down here before heading into what I believe is the toughest section of the evening, this whoop section, which goes all the way down the straightaway leading into the finish line turn. After the finish, they'll make a right and head back into the first corner.
Oh, man, is it an awesome track. And I'm telling you, folks, for the suggested retail price of only $14.95, contact your local cable operator or satellite provider. Hey, you don't have to take my word for it. I mean, I'm just some schmo with a microphone. Let's go to the guys who have the real deal.
Actually, I think the track looks good for Vegas. Vegas is normally a small stadium, but they've come on the outside of the center box in there, and they run the track lanes a long way, so I think it looks good. It's going to be a longer race than normal, and I think it'll be a good race.
Well, it's a good track, a lot like California, what we're used to, really hard pack. So I think it's going to be good for me because I do good on the hard pack, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's actually a lot better than it has been in the last couple of years. You know, it's dry as always out there, but that's just Vegas dirt and Vegas weather. But the track actually comes out of the stadium, which makes it longer, which, you know, helps us out. It sucks to have, you know, a tight course. So, you know, we got some straightaways to relax on and, you know, just to get a break and come back into the stadium.
The track's good here. It's going to be pretty technical. The dirt's hard, and it's going to take some smooth throttle out there. But I'm very confident in my bike, and the Honda's working great for me. Hopefully everything works out.
Yeah, the track is pretty tough. Going to be hard to pass again. So that's going to be pretty hard to do the difference. A good start would be very important. So we'll see what happens, but the all shot going to be a good key for the win.
Track's great. The dirt, you know, they have a hard time with the dirt here. It's so windy and hot, but the obstacles are really good. I think we're going to have a fun race.
The track's pretty good, and we go out of the stadium and a pretty fun, like, outdoor section. And pretty nice jump and a pretty long start also. That's good for me because I do not like the short track.
Hey, we're only minutes away from making history tonight in Las Vegas. EA Sports Supercross, the finals. What an incredible night in store for you. Come on, folks. Contact your local cable operator or satellite provider. As a matter of fact, let's take a trip down history lane, memory lane, with Art Ekman and how we got here to Las Vegas.
Bar to bar for a second. McGrath looks back at David Vuillemin. The 2000 EA Sports Supercross season began with the age-old question, who would unseat Jeremy McGrath? Honda's top gun, Ezra Lusk, crashed in the opening practice session, out for the year. Left, his teammate Kevin Windham. Kawasaki's Ricky Carmichael. Yamaha's David Vuillemin. And veteran Honda rider Mike LaRocco. Before a sold-out crowd in Anaheim, Showtime set the stage and put his understudies on hold with 2 dominating wins. LaRocco hung tough, finishing second and third. But it was Vuillemin who would meet McGrath's challenge, winning the next 2 rounds in San Diego and Phoenix, moving to within 2 points of the 6-time champion.
I prove, you know, tonight I can win when Jeremy is up front, and you know, it's a good step for me to get that, and So we'll see in a couple of weeks if I can do the same.
McGrath fighting the flu and upset with his performance, went on a tear, winning the next 4 races, leading all 80 laps, while Vuillemin and the rest struggled to keep pace.
Yeah, David was riding good those 2 races, and I mean, he's granted, excuse me, he's still riding really good, but you know, I just had a little bit of problems at those races, and my starts are coming back. I mean, the bike's working really good.
Carmichael was the next to challenge McGrath's supremacy. At Daytona in front of his fellow Floridians, Ricky won his first 250 Supercross race. Although he was out of the title hunt, he had beaten McGrath.
I had to work for it. Jeremy was right there on my tail the whole time, and man, I just gave it 100%, and I wanted to go as long as I could, and I made it past that halfway, and he started falling back a little bit, but he don't have to win. He's won plenty of them.
McGrath responded in his trademark manner. Another win in St. Louis, his 7th of the year. But Vuillemin came back in round 11 with his 3rd and biggest win of the season in Minneapolis. Keeping sight of McGrath, he had now won Phoenix and Minneapolis, the first 2 legs of the Vans Triple Crown. A win next week in Las Vegas, and he takes home a $500,000 bonus.
Everybody told me that when I arrived here, so it motivated a little bit more, and I got a good start, and so everything going very great here, and now I'm thinking about next week.
But it was back to normal the following week in Pontiac with win number 8 for Jeremy. Vuillemin finished 4th and lost precious points in the championship race.
We've come a long way, and I think this year is probably my best year so far in 3 years, so it's looking good. I'm happy to do what I'm doing for Yamaha.
Remember Kevin Windham? McGrath called him one of the most talented riders on the circuit. After a disappointing season, Windham came alive at Dallas, winning his first race of the year. He had proven that he indeed belonged.
It's been a real long time, and you know, I don't care if it came at the last race or this race or any race. At this point, I'm just glad to you know, be on top of the podium, and you know, it's overwhelming. I've been beating my head against the wall for so long, and finally I've come out of the slump.
2 weeks ago in New Orleans, McGrath and Vuillemin staged an awesome battle in the Superdome. The kid from France beat the champ, forcing a showdown in the Windy City. Jeremy hadn't clinched a Supercross title with a win since 1996. But in Chicago, it was obvious from the start that he was not going to let the presentation of the #1 plate be delayed to the final round. Things were decided early when David Vuillemin got hung up behind Ricky Carmichael, crashing in the first turn. Catching McGrath seemed impossible with the Frenchman emerging in 18th. But he would soar to within 2 seconds of the celebrating McGrath. The sports icon set the fireworks off. His 7th title in 8 years.
Well, that's why they call him Showtime, and that's why he's the king. With 7 titles, Jeremy McGrath, another phenomenal season. But I'll tell you, that's not all the racing we have. No, siree, it's not all 250s. We got the 125s as well. Let me throw some names at you. How about Roncada? How about Bentley? How about Pastrana? That's right, the best riders vying for bragging rights between the East Coast and the West Coast. But you can't see it unless you contact your local cable operator or satellite provider. As a matter of fact, first race goes off right around 7:30 tonight, 10:30 East Coast time. Jamie Little standing by with the East and West Coast champions.
That's right, Terry. I'm here with both champions. Yeah, you see fights on pay-per-view, but we got 2 champions battling for the 125 title here. We got Shea Bentley, the 125 West champion, 125 East, Stefan Roncada. What's it going to be tonight?
It's going to be good, you know. I think I'm going to try to make it to the first on 2 wheels, and we're going to try to win the race and put 120% and put my Yamaha on the highest rank of the podium.
So what are you going to think if Shea here is on your back tire?
I'm not going to think. I'm just going to go forward and not look backwards.
All right, how about you? He's just going to go. He wants to take it, Shea.
I'm not going to let him go. My Kawasaki Pro Circuit split fire bike's running really good. I'm going to stay close to him. I think we're going to have a really good race. However it turns out, I think we're going to put a show on for the crowd.
All right, we got a 125 battle going on for the East, the West. Who knows what it's going to be, Terry? It's getting ugly.
That's right, it went down to the wire on both the East Coast and the West Coast 125s. You needed as many as 5 different clocks to try to figure out who was going to get the title. As a matter of fact, Art Ekman was there for every single one of those races. He called the action. Art, what do you think is going to happen tonight in the East-West shootout?
Well, Terry, the 125 division had more parity than ever before. For the first time in the history of the 125s, we had 9 different riders win races. 6 of those were first-time winners, and an incredible fact as far as the guys that got hole shots. In 15 races, we had 14 different riders get through that first turn quickest. Shea Bentley won the 125 West by a mere 2 points. Stefan Roncada, the 125 East, by 4 points. You combine that total, and it's the slimmest margin in 125 history. I think most people would agree that season-long, the 125 division was much more exciting than the 250 division was. Now, the 125 shootout in years past, they used to compare who's the better champion, the East or the West, and then they had a supporting cast of riders. This year, it's up for grabs. Anyone can win. I wouldn't be surprised if Brock Sellards, a non-winner, or Nick Way or Danny Smith took the victory here. The odds-on favorite, though, is Stefan Roncada. He's the hottest rider on the 125 circuit right now. He's the winningest rider with 4 victories. But you can't rule out Travis Pastrana. Things happen around him when he is on the track. He loves the spectacular. This is right up his alley, Terry. And if I had to go out on a very, very shaky limb, I think I'd go with the rookie pro.
Wow, what a night tonight. We are talking about EA Sports Supercross, the finals. You need to contact your local cable operator or satellite provider. One rider that has absolutely leapt onto the 125 scene is freestyle motocross rider extraordinaire Travis Pastrana. As a matter of fact, he's standing by to throw a huge Superman seat grab Indian air with Jamie Little.
Hey, Travis.
Hey,
how's it going? Good, how's it going? Saw you out there, you know, you're practicing. We're here in Vegas with Travis Pastrana. He doesn't need an introduction. Rookie year, tell us about it.
Man, it was just a really great rookie season for me. I didn't know what to expect coming into this Supercross season, but I had a lot of support from American Suzuki, and it's just been, man, the whole season between Sellards, Roncada, and myself, back and forth battling every single race, and I ended up coming out in the short end of the stick in 3rd, but still for my first year, you know, I made a lot of mistakes, but I feel like hopefully here in Vegas, it's a great track, and I can have some fun and maybe win this thing.
Hey, we've seen some of the best 125 racing that we've ever seen, I've personally ever seen, and you came out there and you won 2 races. Not bad for a rookie.
Oh, no, I was really excited. I couldn't say anything more. You know, I just, when you get up, I won Daytona, which has been my goal for a long time now, and to do that my first year, I had a lot of support, like I said, from Suzuki, so I couldn't ask for a better year. Hopefully, you know, going into the outdoor season, this will be great, and this pay-per-view special, man, this is huge. Everyone's here.
It's going huge, and you know what? The championships are already wrapped up in the 125 and 250. However, there is one race still to go. It's 125 shootout, the best of the East and the West. What's it going to come down to? Man, it's good for sure bragging rights. This is the biggest race of the year for the 125s, East versus West. No one knows, you know, who's going to do what. There's going to be some surprises. It's a technical track out there, so it's a lot different than we've seen. So it's definitely going to make some bar banging action. It should be a lot of fun. Now, there's some parts on the track out there that the 125s are having a little bit of difficulty on, but you are always one of the first guys to make that triple no matter what. You always get the fans behind you right off the bat.
Oh, well, definitely. They have a long, really, really long whoop section, and they have 2 triples on the track that none of the 125s have done yet. So it's going to be a lot of big air out there, but hopefully I have a lot of confidence in my jumping ability, so hopefully we'll be able to go out there and do some triples.
Well, let's talk about that jumping ability. A lot of fans, viewers out there right now, they've seen you in the X Games, the Gravity Games going off. This year you made the transition to racing. What was that like?
Well, racing has been my dream my entire life since I was 4 years old. And, you know, just this year I got a factory ride at 16. I couldn't ask for anything better. And I'm still doing the jumping for fun. That's just, you know, hanging off the bike at 30, 40 foot in the air. That's cool. But racing, that's where I really want to be, and that's where I'm focusing and training hard for.
So will we see you then after this, you know, Supercross series, you have the Outdoor Nationals, will we see you in the X Games?
Yeah, actually, I should be doing the X Games. Hopefully, I'm not sure. It's definitely on a week off, though. So if Suzuki lets me, I think I'll be doing that.
All right, Travis. It's been great watching him this year. You'll see him tonight on pay-per-view. Thanks, Travis.
Definitely. Thanks a lot, Jamie. Appreciate it.
Man, Travis Pastrana is going to be going off big in just minutes. And I'll tell you what, the first thing you need to do, contact your local cable operator or satellite provider for the suggested retail price of only $14.95. You can be following the best riders in 125 and 250 Supercross. It's a history-making event. First time ever for live pay-per-view Supercross television. As a matter of fact, we asked the best riders in the world how they feel about doing it live for the first time ever.
who's going to win? Yeah, all my friends are watching it. They can't wait. It's awesome. It's on, what is it, MTV and VH1. They're advertising and stuff that I've seen on a bunch this week, and all my friends are renting it, and I know some restaurants in town are having it on, and it's awesome.
How cool would it be to win that race?
Oh, it'd be awesome. I'm planning on winning, so I'm gonna be up there for sure.
I think it's gonna be great on pay-per-view. My mom listens to the announcers on the computer every weekend, and next weekend she'll be able to. I don't know though. My mom's pretty cheap. She might not spend the $20, but I'll have to lend it to her.
I definitely buy it. Just gotta love racing stuff. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm actually gonna have my friends record it, and I'm gonna go home and check it out. But I'm excited about it. I think a lot of my friends are that can't make it to Vegas. They're really pumped to stay at home and watch it. So I think it's a good thing. I'm interested to see how it turns out.
Do you think you'll get any calls from your dad or maybe some of your friends, like in between heats, saying Jeremy's doing this, or you gotta do that?
I don't know. That's interesting. Everybody here at Honda's got the video cameras rolling, and we got it pretty much covered if anybody does anything different. But that'd be kind of cool. It's kind of bad sometimes too, because you get off the track and if you do good, you want to call your dad. Hey, I did this, I did that, and he's all, I know, I was watching. It's like, damn, I want to be the one to tell you. But it's gonna be neat, and it's gonna be exciting, and I think it's good for the future of Supercross.
Remember, you cannot catch all the action of EA Sports Supercross 2000 finals unless you contact your local cable operator or satellite provider. We're only minutes away from the race action tonight. As a matter of fact, we're going to give you a view of what it looks like to ride one of these awesome Supercross tracks like we did in Chicago with Heath Voss. Are tearing up. What an awesome ride. And I'll tell you what, if you don't contact your local cable operator or satellite provider, you're going to miss out on this wild ride. As a matter of fact, let's build a little history. We'll take you back to 1999 and last year's final here in Vegas.
Jeremy McGrath had already clinched the championship when the gate dropped in Las Vegas for the final round of the 1999 Supercross Series. But second place was still up for grabs as Ezra Lusk, number 4, trailed Mike LaRocco by 12 points. LaRocco needed 7th place finish to shut out Lusk, assuming Lusk went on to win the race. McGrath wasted no time at all in upsetting the equation with this early pass for the lead. Bad for Lusk, good for LaRocco. He now needed only to finish 9th. Whoops coming up, and Ezra's backward slide continues. This time the pass was made by Larry Ward. But Lusk, despite a near crash, kept his cool and was able to pass Ward back. Meanwhile, number 9, Ricky Carmichael, had visions of a podium finish. Unfortunately, youthful exuberance got the best of him, and the first-year 250 rider went down hard. But the worst is still to come. Greg Albertyn never saw Carmichael crawling back to his bike, and as we take another look at it, it's obvious Carmichael never saw Albertyn. Carmichael would return to the race, where he would ultimately finish 19th. Back in 7th place, number 3, Mike LaRocco is about to lose series runner-up honors. Watch again as LaRocco miscalculates the jump and lands in the bales. LaRocco would end up 17th in the race and 3rd in the final standings. For McGrath, the checkered flag was the end of another championship season, his 6th Supercross title and 8th win of the year.
Another win for Jeremy McGrath and yet another title. 7 titles for the king, Jeremy McGrath. And all this action can be yours in the comfort of your own home. Contact your local cable operator or satellite provider. We're talking about 3 hours of incredible race action. And I'll tell you what, even if you were here, we're going to take you places you couldn't go anyway. Here's a tribute to the king as we get ready to go racing.
My plan to go out there is not only be the fastest guy or be one of the fastest guys.
Oh my God!
But my plan is to be smarter than everyone else.
Look at the focus and the intensity in the eyes of McGrath.
By the bar for a second, McGrath looks back at David Vuillemin.
And Jeremy just looked over at Vuillemin and rubbed it in.
Can they stay with Jeremy?
I know he's a rider that gets real confident, and when that happens, he's really tough to beat.
He knows when it comes race time, he can win.
He's got so much confidence over everybody. Hopefully one or more of us can take him down and make it interesting.
I want to come out and whip these guys, period.
Our leader, Jeremy McGrath, just simply pulling away.
He can just mail in second. He is so strong.
The winningest rider in history. And the checkers are starting to wave for Jeremy McGrath.
He always seems to find a way to go just a little bit faster than the next guy.
But McGrath right there, just giving a clinic.
McGrath the king once again for the 7th time in Supercross.
I mean, anybody, I can beat him one race. Anybody can beat him one race. It's beaten him 16 races, and that's why he's champion.
Very dedicated, very consistent, focused, knows how to win. Knows how to win.
Last week, David Vuillemin lost the EA Sports Supercross Championship to Jeremy McGrath. All the glory went to McGrath, his 7th championship. But tonight, it's all about money. If Vuillemin can beat McGrath and the rest of the Supercross stars, he will win the Vans Triple Crown bonus of $500,000. But it won't be easy.
He made an aggressive pass to Vuillemin on the last lap, you know, to go in the second. And you know, I really hope I'm in the same position next weekend to try to take the 500 grand away from him.
The best 125 Supercross riders in the country are also on a collision course. Once and for all, they'll line up to see who's the best in the East and West. EA Sports Supercross winds up a wild season of racing from Las Vegas next. Hello, everyone. From Las Vegas, Nevada, Art Eckman, David Bailey, Davey Combs, and Robbie Floyd, ready to bring you the first pay-per-view in the history of Supercross. We told you that we'd see all the action with the 125 East riders are at the gate getting ready to go. David, let's take a look at the track.
Well, it's a great track here in Vegas. This year they've made a few changes. It's going to be a 100-yard dash right to the first corner. That's a tight first corner with the speed they're going to be coming in. You can see that right here. Then they go through a rhythm section to make a left here. You got some sand. Then they go outside the stadium, a big fast section there with a tunnel jump right in the middle of it. The first triple, another triple down here at the bottom, the whoops leading all the way to that last corner of the finish line. Once they go around the finish line, they'll make a right, go back into the first corner.
Each division has their own qualifying heat in the LCQ. The East Division goes first. The top 9 riders get set to transfer to the main event. The 2 top riders out of each last chance qualifier will fill out the 125 shootout 22-rider field. Here we've got the champion Stefan Roncada from the East, Brock Sellers the runner-up, Travis Pastrana, the exciting young rookie who won Daytona and St. Louis, Nicholas Way, Ernesto Fonseca, and others. We're ready to go with the first action of the evening from Las Vegas. A great start for Brock Sellers.
Tyler Evans jumps in there and steals the lead away from those guys. Olaf had the lead momentarily, but Pastrana's right in there, Art.
And they go in that new section of the track outside the stadium, over the tunnel.
I love this. This adds about another 10 seconds to the track. Look at all the air time they get. They jump, pre-jump actually to the tunnel, all the way over, and Pastrana already making his moves.
Tyler Evans, our leader. Pastrana right behind him.
Tyler Evans takes a look over his shoulder. He needs to know who's in second. That'll change the way he rides. He left the door wide open there.
Here's Pastrana. Pastrana battling bar to bar. And Evans down back in second place.
Now, when he looked over his shoulder there and saw that was Travis, he should have gone inside. I don't think he was really set. He was committed to the outside. Pastrana reaches up, pulls one of those tear-offs to try to clear his vision, and it looked like it didn't come off in time.
Roncada has moved up to 4th right now, had a very difficult start. There's Evans, number 45, as we take another look at the beginning.
Right in the middle of the pack. You see Fonseca right there getting tangled, goes off the racetrack. Don't let that number 28 fool you. He's been running number 1 all year in the East Coast. Here he's got to switch to 28 because his teammate, Roncada's running number 1. Back outside again. Tyler Evans staying pretty close to Pastrana right now. He's been able to do that before, but usually about midway through the race, Pastrana's just got a grip he's able to pull away.
The battle for 3rd is on now. Travis Pastrana pulling away. Tyler Evans safe in 2nd place. And we've got Joseph Aloff and the champion from the division. That's Stefan Roncada. Roncada moving into 3rd now. Roncada's got the speed. He can catch those other 2 guys, maybe.
He's definitely got the speed. I'm not sure if he's going to have enough. 6 laps. May not be enough time, but he's definitely going to send a message to Pastrana out front if he can gain time on him, and that Pastrana will know that Roncada's faster, and that'll wear on his mind a little bit before the main event.
Roncada, the winningest rider in the 125s this year with 4 victories. He had 5 podiums. He also led the most laps of any 125 rider with 46 on the season. There you see number 23, Nick Way. Way took a 3rd place here in Las Vegas last year.
He is solid. He's a lot like LaRocco in the 250 class this year for Way. He's been so consistent up front, and he'd really like to win. He's just coming up a little bit short here and there, but He definitely made a big improvement over last year.
Yeah, he hasn't finished out of the top 5 all season long. We go back to the battle right behind him. Alof and Hatzel.
Olaf doing a great job. Big advantage, though, to get the start here. You can get a great start even if you're not capable of running the pace of the guys out front. Even if they get by you, you still got a good spot getting into the main event. You're able to run out front, see what the leaders are doing, and adjust your lines accordingly.
Battle for 5th is on. Joseph Alof and Tyson Hatzel. Hatzel cutting to the inside. That's number 412 is Tyson.
Olaf's starting to lose some time now, but still he'll be able to get to that main as long as he can keep it upright. And out front, Pastrana is awesome. He's been able to jump some stuff. He's doing it in practice. No one else has really been able to match it. Take a look at him right there, starting to get a good lead over Evans now.
Travis Pastrana, so effective in his first year. Mr. Pure Excitement. He's got the flash, the speed, the jumping ability, and the never-give-up spirit to really become a great champion someday. He's already got top billing in most everything.
That's unbelievable. He comes into the stadium, everyone just screams at the top of their lungs because they know they're about to see something exciting. Forget the maturity of this kid on camera that he's only 16 years old. That's the triple I'm talking about right there as he comes back into the stadium at speed. He's getting over that, which sets him up for this triple here. You can hear the crowd react.
Pastrana with 2 wins and 5 podiums. If he holds on, this would be his 7th heat win of the year.
He's definitely dominated the heat races and looks real relaxed right here. When he's not having to put his foot down in the corners right there, that means that he's real confident in his balance. He's getting through those whoop-doos faster than anybody so far.
He's already got more than a 7-second lead, about a 7.5-second lead as we take a look at the battle for 3rd right now. Evans and Way. Evans, number 45. Nick Way on the pro circuit, Kawasaki right behind him.
See, Evans has cut the sleeves of his jersey a little bit. These guys are having to roll this big finish line double because the rider had gone down earlier. That was Paul Carpenter. Looks like he's going to be all right. Evans doing a pretty good job of blocking Way. I don't know how long that's going to last, though, Art.
Nick Way cuts to the inside, and Nick Way moves up another notch into 3rd place. Can Evans come back?
I don't know that he can. Way was able to catch him from pretty far back, and I think what's important for Evans right now is just to relax, get into a good groove, and study what these guys are doing and that are doing to him that they're getting past. Try to use those lines in the main event.
Evans out of 5th, but Pontiac actually led the race with 3 laps. Nick Way, good speed. This is a great speed track.
Well, you can see the difference, though, from these guys to Pastrana out front. Pastrana able to triple the jump as he comes back into the stadium, triple this right here as well. And that's about 2 seconds a lap. Love that section, though, as they go out of the stadium. They get these bikes in 3rd and 4th gear.
A super pass by Nick Way, David. Let's take another look at it. Nick Way skies.
Well, they had gone over the finish line jump, and Tyler Evans decided, nope, you're not going to get me here. But what he did was he came into the corner so tight he had to go wide. He couldn't really get set. Way was able to set him up right there, squared him back off, and made that pass easy.
Back to our leader, Travis Pastrana, as he goes outside the stadium on the final lap. Our first qualifying heat for the 125s. Don't forget the top 9. Get the transfer to the main event. The rest go to the last chance qualifier. We'll have the 125 West Riders coming up next.
Look at this triple right here. That takes so much finesse to be able to get that 125 up and over there. And most of the guys in this 125 class aren't able to jump the triples, and he's able to do heel clickers off these things, so he's obviously very comfortable with the racetrack.
Pastrana now has the fans on the near side standing on their feet as he does the knack-knack.
He's always having fun out there. I think he might be having even a little bit more fun this time. He can redeem himself a little bit by a win here tonight and cap the season. It's probably all anyone's going to remember anyway. He wasn't able to win that championship.
The checkers for Pastrana, the first winner of the evening. And the first winner ever on live television.
He's happy. He's got to be happy.
Stefan Roncada comes over in 2nd place. And Nick Way now is headed toward the finish line. Let's go down to Davey.
Thanks, Art. I'm down here with Lee McCullough. Lee, Travis comes out firing. I got to ask you, you think the heat bothers him at all?
No, he's been riding out here in California and, you know, near the area, so he says the heat's all right. He's not affected by it, and, you know, he feels good. He's been doing a lot of riding and training for the outdoors, getting ready, so he's in good shape. He's in great shape.
All right, thanks, Lee.
All right.
So Heat 1 goes into the record books with Pastrana, Roncada, and Way, the top 3 riders. As we take a look now at the wrenchhead.com results page, there you see the top 3. Evans also qualifying to go to the main event. Brock Sellards will be on his way to the main event as well as the top 9 graduate. Brandon Jesselman just on the bubble, beating Joseph Aloff.
You can see I was noticing the lap times. The best lap by Pastrana was a 1:12. The best lap by Roncada was a 1:13. And Roncada was trying hard to catch Travis while he was out front showing off for the crowd. So looks to me like those were the 2 guys that I expected to be the fastest out here from what I saw in practice. Travis has the upper hand.
Well, it's a good start on our 125 shootout, don't you think, Davey Coombs?
Yeah, it sure was. But you know what? A few guys had some bad luck in that one. Paul Curry, the Plano Honda rider, pulled out on the first lap. Then we also saw Chris Wheeler, who was in a qualifying position on the KTM. Looked like the throttle cable pulled out of the carburetor. He had to go back to the pits. And, of course, you guys saw Carpenter. They took him off on a gurney. He looked fine, but just for safekeeping, they're going to take him up and check him out.
The 125 West riders are now at the gate as Jeremy McGrath is checking things out along with Sebastien Tortelli. Ricky Carmichael there on the right. Jeremy Albrecht, the Kawasaki mechanic for Team Kawasaki, sitting down, relaxing. On the left there is Mike LaRocco. So Jeremy McGrath looks as relaxed as they come. There's David Vuillemin on the left, just next to Sebastien.
He looks even more relaxed. Talking with Jeremy, these guys, it's cool to see the respect for each other, because McGrath wants to do nothing more than just annihilate Vuillemin in this race. Vuillemin needs to get that 500 grand Vans Triple Crown money, and
the largest prize.
Here they are just mingling before the start. Carmichael soaking it all up. LaRocco sitting down on the ground there.
The largest prize in American motorcycle racing is on the line tonight, and Vuillemin really did the improbable, don't you think? Not only beating the field at the Triple Crown's first 2 rounds, but he ignored the pressures of having to battle a sport's undisputed icon. Let's go back to Davey.
All right, Travis, you came out, did exactly what you had to do in the heat race. How do you feel about the main?
I feel really confident. I'm doing a couple jumps that no one else on 125 is doing. Really give me a little bit of a lead, but I know Roncada is really quick, and there's the West Coast guys to deal with too, so it's going to be a knockdown, drag out for the main event for sure. But, you know, my RM is running great, got me out to an excellent start, and I'd like to thank, you know, Acclaim and No Fear. I hope to go out there and win this. This is huge.
All right, Travis, so we'll see you in the main.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
125 West riders at the gate right now. Travis Pastrana doing the heel clicker in victory. And we get a shot now coming up of the knack-knack.
Definitely having fun out there. And, you know, I wonder, when he does that heel clicker, you see those hand guards right there on his handlebars. Seems like it'd be tough to get his feet back over those things to the pegs. If they get stuck out there, he's in trouble.
And the great sportsmanship as the champion of the 125 East, Stefan Roncada, comes up to congratulate the winner. 32nd board is up. We've got Derek Shea Bentley. Shea Bentley, the champion of the West. David Pingree lost that championship by only 2 points. And 2-time winner Greg Schnell, number 63. You'll see him in the mix. Roger Tane. Casey Lytle, a one-time winner. Justin Bucklew, a very fast rider, along with Chris Gosler. The board is sideways. We're ready to go for the second qualifying heat of the 125. Bentley got a slow start. And David Pingree got in the mix there for the lead.
There you can see Shea Bentley, the number one rider from the West. He ended up caught in that pileup right in the middle, so he's already having to contend with coming from last.
It's Mark Burkhardt on the KTM that's out in front. This is the second time that he's got a hole shot in the qualifying round.
These KTM guys are doing great off the start. He comes from the outside, just closes everyone in. Looked like Pingree had the hole shot on the way down the starting line, but he decided to break early, take the inside. Didn't really work out for him. There you can see Bentley right there in the middle, leaned over. He couldn't even get up. He's running in last place right now.
Burkhardt out of the state of Ohio. Won the LCQ in the opener. Qualified for the first 4 races. His best was at ninth in Atlanta.
And a longer start here. It reminds me of the Houston Astrodome round, where one of the other very long starts of the season, and the KTMs just seem to hook up great once they get up into 4th gear.
There's David Pingree, number 35, and whoa! He gets a good scrape on the tire that time.
And that's his teammate.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens, though, going through the loops. Horton had such a run at Pingree, he couldn't really let off, or he could risk dropping the front end down into one of those whoop-de-doos there and go right over the bars. He had to kind of roll the dice and bump his teammate, hope to stay on.
Robbie Horton also with Bill's Pipe Suzuki, the support team for Team Suzuki, number 61. But Pingree survives it.
Yeah, he seems to be unaffected. Probably laugh about it a little bit later. I don't think it would have been funny if they hit each other. Look at Horton. He's trying to carry the front wheel right there. Pingree looks over at him and goes, what are you doing? You're going to take us out before we even get going.
Horton with one podium on the year, and of course Pingree with an outstanding year, vied for the championship most of the season. There's Pingree, number 35, making up more time.
Took advantage right there. Burkhart coming up a little bit short on the double. Pingree jumped it clean. Not a problem for that team.
Pingree in second place, Robbie Horton in third, with Casey Lytle in fourth. And there's the man out in the lead, number 188, Mark Burkhart. Through the whoops, Pingree leading a train. Burkhart now in second. And Robbie Horton in third.
He had a run at the guys in the whoops about halfway through the section, but the problem is everyone's starting to favor the left, and if you're following, you can't make the pass, but he's setting them up here.
Great move inside, David. Good call.
I could see Burkhart didn't really have a plan for that corner. He was trying to protect the inside. That's what we saw Evans do in the first heat. It doesn't really work out.
And so Pingree and Robbie Horton 1 and 2 now.
As they go through that sand section, the mechanics are all on the right of our screen. As they come through on the rider's left, they're trying to deal with some difficult section of racetrack right there and see a signal, find out what they need to do, what position they are, if they're gaining or losing time.
Number 63 is behind Burkhart, number 188, and that is Greg Schnell. Schnell had an outstanding season. If it hadn't been for a couple of double-digit races, he won 2 races this year, and there goes Schnell making the move on Burkhart.
Doesn't seem like the start is that big of a deal. Riders are able to find their way around out here. Some of the guys are talking about how it's hard to pass out here after yesterday's practice. They made some changes to the track, and it seems to be working perfect.
Incidentally, the champion of this division, the 125 West Shea Bentley, is way back in 14th position. Battling the stomach flu or some stomach ailment. He was sick all day today and got the bad start early.
That's too bad. You don't want to debut your number 1 plate like that. You got more teammates.
Battle for 5th is on. Number 30 is Casey Lytle. Number 32 is Danny Smith. Danny Smith was injured throughout much of the year. It's the battle for 4th is on. Lytle is in 4th.
This is an interesting straightaway. There's so many different ways to get through there. We've been calling those rhythm sections. I like to call it an auction section this way.
Look at the number 195, Billy Payne of Pro Circuit. He gets by Danny Smith.
Last chance to put in a great performance, build up a little momentum and confidence for the outdoor season coming up soon. And Billy Payne there, number 195, looked excellent in practice.
He didn't run the last race in Dallas. As we go back toward the leaders now, and it's a battle between teammates.
And think about this, they just about took each other out. Not too long ago through the whoop section that they're now approaching. And here they are running first and second. That was a little stroke of luck. Look at the energy it takes to get through there. You're fighting so hard to get through that whoop section. And for somebody like Pingree, he's trying as hard as he can to get through there, and he's losing time to his teammate. Think about that the next lap through there. First corner, they work their way down in there. You can see how slick it's starting to get. They're on the brakes early. They just slide sideways all the way to that berm. That's the one that stops them.
Pingree's got to be hungry for this race, David Bailey, because it was really the heartbreak of the season. Twice he led the 125 West in points, only to lose the title by 2 points. A great disappointment. He's battled through injury after injury over the last few years, and to be in contention for the title and not win it, it really affected him.
That hurts. And a similar thing happened to Sellards in the East. He led the title the whole way. He was the most consistent guy, and to lose it in the end feels bad. I was always fortunate and able to win it in the end, but I've lost a few things, and nothing like a title, and I can't imagine how disappointing that would be.
Here's the battle for 4th, and it's on right now. It's Casey Lytle and Billy Payne. Billy Payne on the green bike, going to the outside, trying to take Casey Lytle. We got a lot of riders in the mix with Danny Smith and Chris Gossler as well.
There are no lines left. Now you can see number 158, Justin Buckley is starting to catch this pack.
Look at number 55, Gossler, making a big move on the inside. Gets around Billy Payne. The white flag lap is on. This is the final lap of our 125 West qualifying round. Lytle, number 30, Danny Smith, bar to bar with Gossler. 55 and 32. Billy Payne is right behind him. And Buckaloo behind Payne.
This is going to be good because these guys aren't racing for points right now. This is a one-shot deal. It's for pride. These guys want to build momentum, put their stamp on the end of the season if they weren't able to get a win or a title. They want to prove it right here that they're the fast guy. Things may have been different if they rode like this the rest of the season.
Lytle continues to lead this freight train, one of 6 riders to win his very first 125 Supercross this year.
Billy Payne catching this trio right here. A lap ago, he was up in the thick of it, made a little mistake through this section. Oh, Lytle gets a little bit offline. Nice recovery. Had the inside.
Look at Gossler. Gossler comes to the inside as the checkered flag is out for Pingree. But a 1-2-3 battle right here with Hondas. After Pingree, Horton. But it's Lytle, Smith, and Gossler just battling it out down the whoops with Payne in back there. There's Lytle, number 30. Gossler, Danny Smith tries to cut it tight, but Lytle holds on. Oh, great race in our second qualifying round for the 125s. David Pingree, our winner, but the battle really was for 4th, 5th, and 6th with Casey Lytle, Chris Gossler, and Danny Smith. And the honors, number 61, Robbie Horton taking 2nd. Let's go down to Davey.
Thanks, Art. I'm with Sean Ulikowski. Sean, I know that David just won that race, but you guys got to talk about that triple jump.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a big factor with Pastrana jumping it and stuff. So we're going to go back to the pits, and I'll tell him about it. I think he can do it. He just was probably checking it out because he hasn't done it all day.
Has David been refocusing on this race? I know that the 125 West title was almost there for him. Then he had all those crashes in a row. I know that was a bitter pill to swallow in Dallas.
Yeah, we had some bad luck a couple races. We came up real short, and he just wants to win tonight to prove himself that maybe put an explanation point. Maybe that 1W should have been his.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
David Pingree, our winner, as we take a look at the wrenchhead.com results page. David Pingree, Robbie Horton in 2nd place, Greg Schnell qualifying, Casey Lytle in 4th, Chris Gossler in 5th, Danny Smith in 6th, Billy Payne 7th, Justin Buckaloo qualifies for the main event in 8th, and Shea Bentley came all the way back toward the back of the pack to barely qualify for the main event in 9th. Let's go back down trackside.
To get done with his interview, but I got to tell you guys, I was watching the back. Christopher Gossler was flying. He almost went off the track a couple times. I don't know about you, David, but Gossler looks like he's on fire tonight.
He is fast, and I'll tell you what surprises me is yesterday in the practice, he had a pretty bad crash. Completely stopped, got off the bike, just left the bike sitting there, was holding his wrist. They were worried he may have broken it, sprained it, and here he is out here today. And in the one section, it seems like it would hurt his wrist the most is through the whoops, and he's going through there faster than anyone.
Let's go down to Robbie Floyd.
Actually, you got me.
Well, last year's champion's really disappointed right now. You went down on that first straightaway, Ernesto Fonseca, and you look very determined out there tonight. You worked your way up into 7th.
Yeah, I feel really good. You know, my bike's working really good, and everybody's working really hard for the team to be up front, and I think I feel really good out there tonight. I think I just need to get a better start, and I won't have any problem being up there in the top 3 places.
Well, you talk about those guys looking aggressive. Davey Coombs, I'm telling you, Ernesto's a guy who really wants to prove himself just like he did last week at Chicago.
And you know what? So does David Pingree. And David, you just made a very bold statement in that second 125 heat.
Yeah, you know, that's a 125 main event right there, and that's the way it should have been all year. You know, I just got through the first turn clean, and my Suzuki did the rest of the work. It was a piece of cake.
What about Pastrana in the main? You think you got the pace?
He's going fast. I'm going to have to take it up a whole nother level, so I'll just see what I can do when the time comes.
Robbie Floyd was talking back with Fonseca back in the pit area. And Davey Coombs, of course, down on the victory stand talking with David Pingree for the final race of the 250 season as we take a look at the wrenchhead.com results presented by Toyota Trucks. David Pingree, Horton, Schnell, Lytle, Gosler, the top 5. And qualifying all the way down to Shea Bentley, Roger Taine, the Frenchman on the KTM, will have to go to the last chance qualifier. As we get set for our first 250 qualifying round, it's the final race, believe it or not, of the 250 season. It seems like it came awfully quick. And this is Heath Voss with the onboard camera. The race format is the same as usual. The top 4 riders out of the 2 qualifying heats of the 250s go directly to the main. The top 5 in the semis qualify, and then the top 2 from the LCQ. 20 riders will be on the final gate. Our first qualifying heat is underway. David Vuillemin, Mike LaRocco in this one. We've had some unusual hole shooters lately, but it's David Vuillemin taking the top spot with Mike LaRocco. A great start. Mike LaRocco in a 3-way battle for second place. Heath Voss's cam right there. That helmet cam providing us a good insight into the action and what it feels like, David.
Well, this is what Voss doesn't want to see, is all these riders between himself and the leaders. He's going to have to do a lot of work to get right into the main event. Facing the top 4. Huffman and Tortelli trailing LaRocco and Vuillemin. Vuillemin just up over that triple. Already starting to stretch his lead. This guy was awesome in practice. McGrath jumped in behind him. Actually lost a little bit of time, pulled off, was watching what Vuillemin was doing. Very creative out here. Comes up short there, but he's comfortable enough to try things on the racetrack. Looks back at LaRocco right there. I know I made a mistake. That's the closest you're going to get.
LaRocco now banging on the door of David Vuillemin. Vuillemin's got that $500,000 at stake. He needs a good qualifying position.
He does, and LaRocco really doesn't like Vuillemin that much. He's said that. Anything he can do to get around, and LaRocco's a physical rider too. If he's got an opportunity and Vuillemin leaves the door open, well, I don't know if he's going to walk through it. I think he's going to bang it open more.
Yes, he knows how to scratch the plastic, that's for sure. Look at the battle for third on Damon Huffman and Sebastien Tortelli, number 21. He's putting the challenge to Huffman right now.
Great recovery by Huffman there. He went off the jump, front end washed out, both feet off the pegs. He's able to land in the line and not lose any time. He's got Tortelli breathing down his neck. One more mistake like that, and he'll lose a position.
Sebastien Tortelli finishing 6th so far in the points race. Would like to move up a notch to the top 5. That's what he was looking for going into the season. Damon Huffman having a very, I should say, mediocre year for him with 1 podium on the season.
He had an injury.
There goes Tortelli. Tortelli making the pass, David.
Nice block pass. Now Tortelli also looked great in practice. This is the time of year when Tortelli starts thinking about the outdoors. He starts building his momentum. He had his best Supercross season ever, but he wasn't able to jump a key triple out there because Huffman wasn't. Now he'll be able to do it. It's interesting to see if he can catch the leaders.
In the last race in Chicago, Sebastien Tortelli coming off of 5th and a very steady ride there in Chicago. His best was a 2nd at Pontiac. That was the first race at Pontiac of the 2. He also took a 2nd in the heat. We got a great start in 3rd. Here in the qualifying round, Tortelli in 3rd place behind LaRocco and Vuillemin.
See Craig right there, number 43, starting to close in a little bit on Damon Huffman. Huffman's going to have to start jumping a couple things out there. Otherwise, he's going to be in jeopardy of not making this main event, because Mike Craig's the kind of guy that will come in here and steal it from him.
The back section is very interesting as we go back to our leader, David Vuillemin, number 934.
You see that 109 lap time. That's just ridiculous. Earlier in the day, they were running around 111, 112. The track's in a little bit better shape right now with some extra water on it. He's hooking up out there. And McGrath and the rest of the field are on the starting line watching this right now, knowing that they have to get on their game tonight, run with this guy. He rode so fast last week, coming from last to 2nd. He's on a roll.
You know, this is our sports answer to the lottery, really. The odds are about the same that this guy can take the $500,000, winning 3 selected races in the Advanced Triple Crown. If he does not win, if McGrath wins, Vuillemin still has a shot at the consolation prize, but he has to get a 4th or better. That consolation's a mere 25 grand.
Yeah, just 25 grand. And money. And back when I was racing, they had this thing called the Miller Masters and the Wrangler Dash. Those were 30 and 25 grand, and nothing like what they've got going on. It's a great time to be a motocross racer.
The number 934 certainly been a great first full season in 250 action. He's never been out of the top 6, and only 3 times he hasn't made the podium. He's 2nd in almost every statistical category, 2nd to Jeremy McGrath.
Pretty impressive. Ran that corner, feet on the pegs, great balance, approaching the triple. Kind of squats down the pace to keep the bike low, and now he's approaching the whoop. Watch him through here. This guy is so fast in the whoops. Wheelies a little bit at the beginning just to keep that bike flat. Stays right on the tops of them. No mistakes yet.
Starts to pull away with number 5 and number 21 in third. Sebastien Tortelli, number 21. Let's go on board with Heath Voss and check out his vision.
This is through the whoop section. You saw the riders ahead of him. Tortelli, Vuillemin gets through there. He gets through there no problem. Look at the big finish line double. About 55 feet up into the berm. Then it gets real slippery right here. This is where the start comes into the first corner. Vuillemin, a moment ago, just moving all those tough blocks up off the top of that berm. Tough rhythm section right there. You got to get off over those plateaus over another jump. This is the mechanics area on the left to get your signal. While you're trying to negotiate the sand and head out of the stadium, you get to air things out a little bit.
Boy, that's a short space to check out a pit for it.
Yeah, you really got
to be looking for it all the way.
Oh, as soon as you come out of that corner, if you make any kind of a mistake, you don't have time to look at it. This is heading back in. This is what the guys out front are tripling. So he won't be able to triple this. He doubles it right there. He'll double this one into the corner, try to save a little time. I like this section here. Whoops with a double in the middle, more whoops into the corner. Very tricky. Different ways to take that. I saw McGrath do something earlier. Only did it once. Didn't want anyone to get a video camera on him and have anybody else figure that out. He's just saving it for the main event.
Heath Voss, number 33, our helmet champ. He's the top privateer so far this year, both in standing as well as money. He's made over $13,000 in SFX privateer fund bonus money.
I love looking at this shot. It's gotten so much better over the years. It took a long time to perfect, but other than shaking around just a little bit, your head does shake like that when you're out there. You get a jolt.
We got fun. That's trying to find a way around it.
Probably might be able to squeeze by on the inside back there, but he just got closed off. Another look at Vuillemin. The last lap he posted was a 1:11, so that 1:09 is his best yet. He hasn't matched it since.
David Vuillemin making the first statement here in the opening 250 qualifying round. He pulls away to lead and possibly win. Jeremy McGrath will be coming up in the second qualifying round.
You see behind Vuillemin, LaRocco is still there, pretty close. Didn't make a major mistake by Vuillemin, or an excellent charge from LaRocco at the late stages here to force the issue. LaRocco's been known to do that. He gets stronger as the race goes on. He's a little bit of a slow starter, not just out of the hole shot. You saw he was second there, but the first couple of laps of the race, he always loses time. He's supposed to have to make it up the rest of the race, and he's going to make up time on a guy like Vuillemin.
Well, LaRocco might not have won a Supercross since 1995, but he certainly has had a very steady year as he's in second place, and Vuillemin just pulling away from him right now. But second place locked up out of the first qualifying heat will give him a good gate selection.
I don't know that it's that important. I think what they're trying to do right now is figure out the lines of the racetrack, where it's going to be a little slippery later. They might want to change from running the left side of a straightaway to more in the middle or the right, have opportunities to pass. LaRocco is just an excellent runner. He's been out here for so long. He's always up front. He doesn't get the wins that you see McGrath get, but the guy is so steady.
And been a rookie year for quite a while than David Vuillemin as he takes the white flag in the final lap. David Vuillemin, our leader here in the opening qualifying round. Vuillemin is looking for his 5th win of the season, and you know, $500,000 is a lot of francs, about 3,500,000 French francs, but you know, I think he'd be very prideful if he won another race, because that would mean he would tie his boyhood hero, Jean-Michel Bayle, in Bayle's first rookie season, also won 5 races. To win 5 races to a hero like that in Vuillemin's native land would be quite a prestigious accomplishment.
He's got a lot of motivation tonight. He definitely wants to win. He's very focused. Vegas is a place that can have you wandering off in different directions. There's so many things to do, so many temptations, and he does seem very focused. He wants to win this. He'll try to get to 5 wins. He also wants to win the 500 grand, and if he can win it, I think it'll sort of make that loss last weekend in McGrath, not being able to take this championship down to the final round, a little bit easier.
Vuillemin Vuillemin has been such a humble rider, and especially very respectful to Jeremy McGrath, but you think as the checkered flag is waving now for David Vuillemin, the winner of our first qualifying round. But my question to you, David, is why is so many riders against Vuillemin winning this $500,000?
I just think they don't like somebody coming over here from another country and whooping us, you know?
The balance of payments, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, as Heath Voss battling in 5th position, is 1 position from qualifying from the main event, going through those whoops. And going across the finish line, taking the checkered flag. Heath Voss won't be able to take it home with him, but Davey Coombs, David Vuillemin will.
He just might, and that's what I'm going to ask his mechanic, Craig. Was he even talking about that money this week?
You know, he's been real focused this week on outdoors. He hasn't even been really that concerned with the money. You know, he's happy with getting second in the series. You know, everyone seems to be playing it up for the money, but he hasn't really said too much.
Well, then what about this? It's his last chance to beat Jeremy McGrath in a Supercross in his first year over here. Is he focused on that tonight?
More than anything, he wants to win the race.
Thanks, Craig.
Sure.
Win the race, you win the $500,000. It's all the same, as he's taken on Jeremy McGrath, who wins 56% of the time. And taking a look now at the Suzuki results page, Vuillemin, LaRocco, Tortelli, and Huffman have qualified for the main event. Heath Voss will go on to the semifinal round for the 250s before a chance at the main event. David Vuillemin surprised the 7-time champion Jeremy McGrath at Phoenix, catching up and passing him. And then he came back, David Bailey, to lead every lap at Minneapolis, where Jeremy had never lost a race. He won every race in the 7 years they've staged a race there. But number 934 right here just took him on and won it.
Well, Vuillemin is the kind of guy that if he gets a great start, you're going to have to earn it. He is not going to make a mistake. He's not going to fold under the pressure, and that's what Jeremy's been able to count on with the rest of these guys. But Vuillemin didn't grow up here in the States. He didn't grow up fearing that guy right there, number 1 McGrath.
You know, people have asked me, hey, McGrath's won the title. He doesn't need the money. Would Jeremy concede one to Vuillemin? Well, the answer is obviously he concedes nothing. And he just cares about winning. Winning is the true source of motivation for this guy.
Yeah, he loves it.
Let's get back to Davey Coombs trackside.
All right, David, the first step's down. You won your heat race. Now you can focus on that last 20 laps, that $500,000.
Yeah, it will be tough, you know. It's pretty hard here, and the track is very difficult, very slippery. It will be a tough race, and nobody wants me to win this money. So we'll see a good race tonight.
Okay, good luck at the main, David.
Thanks a lot, Davey.
He seems a little preoccupied with that right now, David Bailey, as we get set for our second half. And, of course, our second qualifying heat has Jeremy McGrath, Kevin Windham, Ricky Carmichael, Larry Ward, Kyle Lewis, Grayson Goodman, Ronnie Clark, and a whole host of other riders that are going to try to make the top 4 and get into the main event. There's Larry Ward, number 10, next to Jeremy.
Grayson Goodman right there, number 65. Grayson gets excellent starts. I'm actually see if he can beat McGrath in the first corner. Wouldn't that be something?
On the other side of McGrath is number 777, Ronnie Clark from Farmington, New Mexico on the Yamaha. The board is sideways. Our second qualifying heat is underway. Windham with a great start. Team Honda's number 14, but here comes Jeremy McGrath. And a big pileup in the first turn.
And Grayson Goodman, who got into the first corner right there with Windham and McGrath, got caught at the bottom of that pileup.
There's Windham, number 14, and Jeremy McGrath as he go outside the stadium to go over the tunnel jump.
Well, this ought to be good. McGrath does not like to lose, even in a heat race, so Windham's going to have some company. We'll find out if he can pass out here.
Let's check out the start and see what happened on that melee in the first turn.
Well, Grayson doesn't really have much room right there. He's just trying to balance at the top of the berm. He couldn't reach the ground, and he fell right over, and he was underneath a stack of bikes right there, while McGrath, his best friend, who was lined up near, was out there chasing Windham.
The front runners made it through. Number 14, Kevin Windham, leading this qualifying heat. Number 1, Jeremy McGrath, right behind him.
A little bit better line by Windham out of the corner, approaching the triple than McGrath. He'll make a note of that.
And Ricky Carmichael, number 4, on the team Kawasaki in third.
Carmichael wants to get up in there and join this race. It's nothing worse than knowing that you have the speed to run with these guys, but not getting the start, and you hear in the crowd react for the battle out front. You're not part of it. Ricky wants to get in there.
Kevin Windham has won 5 heat races this year, and some of those against Jeremy McGrath. during a crucial time. There you see Ricky Carmichael in third place with Larry Ward in fourth. Those are the qualifying positions right now, as the second leading privateer is in fifth spot, Kyle Lewis. Out front is number 14, Kevin Windham, coming off his fourth straight podium, including a win at Texas Stadium, and he hold on, the seven-time champion.
Look at that. McGrath does a little wheelie right before that triple. He sets the front end down. That starts the forks. Just like a pogo stick, they bounce more and he gets more lift off that jump. The takeoff is about 4 feet lower than where they have to land. So, a lot of finesse right there by McGrath to get over that.
Do you think he's going to give anything away before the main event here in the qualifying?
He's going to want to win no matter what. I don't think he's going to save any fast lines. He's just going to try to put the pressure on Kevin, force him into a mistake.
Kevin is holding his own right now after a frustrating mid-season. 8 non-podiums. Kevin Windham has rebounded, showing he's got his old potential back.
He's definitely fast. You see how hard and slick it is. We always talk about the great throttle control of Kevin. Of course, a lot of the top riders have it, but Kevin just seems to be able to deliver it a little bit better at times. And right here, he's starting to inch away from McGrath. That last lap of 109, the same exact lap time as Vuillemin in the first heat. And I think these guys are going to get a little quicker because McGrath's going to have to turn it up.
Jeremy McGrath in his fifth season with 9 or more wins. Would like to get number 10 tonight. He is in second place.
A little wheelie again. These guys are going so fast to jump that triple. They built some whoop-de-doos down the backside to try to discourage them from jumping it. They don't care. They're jumping anyway. The line from Windham, he's able to go out there, double up onto that plateau and triple off. McGrath taking the inside. He has to use a different timing. He's not really losing as much time as I thought he would. He's able to stay pretty close.
Well, you can really tell how slippery it is, especially exiting the whoops. They use the berm there.
Pitch the back end out to the right, sets him up to go all the way in wide. And a good run off of the berm after the finish because it's so slippery right when they hit the flat.
The hard pack of the soil here in Las Vegas, very similar to those that these riders practice on in California.
Look at that sand right there. If you're anywhere near the guy in front of you, you just get showered with it. It goes all down in your jersey, in your helmet, in your face. Look at that. Windham just wide open on the power on the backside of that big tunnel jump there.
These guys could be on a dirt track somewhere and win it.
That is so technical. It's so hard to do. There's not very many guys doing it. It makes it that much more impressive to know that when the 250 guys are having to use everything they've got to get over it, that Strawn on is 125 and still able to jump.
Kevin Windham has led this entire qualifying round. It's the second 250 qualifying round. Part of the Honda crew looking on as Kevin Windham. His mechanic is Ali Seymour, an experienced rider himself before getting into the mechanic side.
You hear Kevin working that throttle up, all the way through that whoop section, knowing when to get on the throttle, when to back out of it to keep that bike level. As soon as the front wheel drops into one of those, you start that up and down motion, lose all your forward momentum. That's what's been happening to McGrath. I have a feeling he's going to make a suspension change before the main.
Ali Seymour actually was changing spokes during the week on the bike. I think he fractured the hand or arm.
That's too bad.
And so Kevin's got a business here this week.
It's not often you see the mechanic.
Yeah, even though Ali's on the scene. Talking with Randy Lawrence, Jeremy McGrath's
Anthony Paggio giving Larry Ward his signal on the way by. Running in fourth. How many seconds down? 2 minutes. I'd like to see him up closer so he can study what these guys are doing.
Wouldn't that be something? Ali sits out a race, and Ron Wood comes in to rent for Kevin Windham, and he takes it.
Well, you know, Cliff White, the team manager, wasn't able to make Dallas. It's funny because Kevin won the race, and Ali called him afterwards and said, "We won." And Cliff's like, "Come on." They're always joking with him. He didn't believe him at first. Maybe this is a good omen. Maybe they got somebody missing, and they can kind of go back and remember what happened in Dallas and use that to their advantage mentally. Last lap by Kevin Windham, 106. That's why he has stretched his lead over McGrath. McGrath has got to be shocked right now. He's going as fast as Vuillemin was, and he's getting dropped.
And faster here in the second qualifying. The qualifying winner, you're right.
This is really surprising. I knew Kevin had the speed. I've always known that, but I didn't think he had this much speed. I think McGrath right now maybe just starting to say, well, you know what? Obviously, I need to make up more time. He'll probably make some changes to his bike so he can get that boot section a little flatter and not have to worry about that so much. If you have one section on the track that's bothering you, it tends to take up some space in your head all the way around the rest of the track. It's wearing on him right now. He's losing time.
Kevin Windham really grinding it out. As we heard in the interviews prior, Kevin was miffed at the way Vuillemin got by last lap in Chicago and really scraped him pretty hard to move on second place. And it was a last lap situation, so Vuillemin wasn't really fighting the lead, but Windham came back and looks like he's coming back with a vengeance right now.
Yeah, but some guys need to get motivated. If he's got to use that to do it, well, that's fine. Bob Hanna was the same way towards the end of his career.
Ron Wood holding out the board saying, focus, Kevin.
There was a time towards the end of the career when Hanna's career, we were both on Honda. Hanna would be asking me, what gear are you doing that jump over there in? And I'm thinking, Bob, Hurricane Hanna's asking me what gear. And then all of a sudden somebody would get a little close to him, bump him, and he would get motivated to go out and win the race. Just completely turn it around. He's so mental amongst these top 4 or 5 guys. They can all do the same things, but the guy that's got his head in this and is focused the most is going to be the one that can put in those 20 laps.
Well, Windham has just refused to crack under the pressure of Jeremy McGrath, and now McGrath is just on his own pace.
Well, Kevin has backed it down a little bit. Listen to the throttle through there. It's so hard to keep your balance. The tops of those are all so slippery. He's backed it down to 1:10 lap time, which is about what Vuillemin was doing towards the later stages of his heat race. Kevin's not threatened here, so he can afford to do that.
Kevin on the final lap of the qualifying round.
We were working on this section all day yesterday and all day today. They're out tripling into the corner before the sand. It's going to feel good for Kevin to go out there and pull away from McGrath like this. I haven't seen this all year.
Kevin won the 1997 125 shootout here on the Yamaha. He was injured the last 2 years while riding 250, so number 14 really trying to make his mark in the 250 here in Las Vegas.
Faster coming to stay, another heel flicker.
Take that, Vuillemin.
Take that, McGrath. He's out there showing off in front of the best rider in Supercross history, having it his way. This will be a big boost for Kevin. I've talked with Jeff Stanton, who works with all the Honda guys. Probably the times can kind of go back and forth. You know, he's real up, and he's real down, and right now he's got to be on an up, and that's great news in the main event.
Breaking a 20-race losing streak, and boy, did that pump some adrenaline and confidence into this young man. Number 14, Kevin Windham taking the checkered flag, and here comes Jeremy McGrath, number 1, taking a second seat behind Windham. Let's check in with Davey Coombs.
Well, I'm with the replacement mechanic here, the utility man for Honda, Ron Wood. Ron, great way to start your season, but of course it's the last race of the year.
Yeah, it is. Allie, his regular mechanic, broke his wrist at the shop the other day, and so I've been stepping in, and with Kevin, it's just a pleasure. He's so easy to work with and so horribly fast.
Well, I tell you what, it looks like he's got that speed on him tonight. He's got his A game here. What was he talking about earlier today?
Well, the thing with Kevin, he doesn't talk a lot about racing. He just goes out there and figures it out, and then he just doesn't want to think about it much. He just wants to be loose and have fun, and then that makes him go fast.
Ron, well, maybe you'll get your first Supercross win later tonight.
That'd be great. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks.
Good way to start a career as far as Ron Wood is concerned, as he goes back to the pits now to get ready and break that bike down. As we take a look at the Honda results page, Kevin Windham, Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael finishing in third, and Larry Ward going directly to the main event out of the qualifier, taking a 4th place. The rest of the riders going on to the semi-final round. A sellout crowd here at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, anticipating all kinds of fireworks tonight. David Bailey, I think we've already seen the stage properly set for some great competition. Let's go to Robbie Floyd.
Well, you know this race is really important for bike setup. Now check out the clutch lever on Mike LaRocco's bike. He likes it up a lot higher than anybody else. Him and Shea Bentley pretty much started this trend. He thinks when he gets back on the bike, he's able to go through the whoop section a little bit faster than everybody else. Well, that seems to be one of the problems also for LaRocco. Paul, his mechanic, says he come back and said he's having a problem with the whoops. He wants to stay on top of them a little bit more, so he's going to slow down the rebound and see if that solves the problem.
Thank you, Robbie. Robbie's back in the pits, and that's an important place to have a camera because a lot of action goes back there, that's for sure. But also some action right now down on the victory podium with Davey Combs.
Well, Kevin, your new mechanic, Ron Wood, just said it best. You are so fast tonight.
I feel great, you know, and I'm really looking forward to the outdoor seasons, but I can't forget about this last Supercross here. And, you know, nothing against Vuillemin, but I'd love to be the spoiler of that whole $500,000 deal. And, you know, my bike's feeling great tonight, and hopefully I can do it.
Well, let me ask you about that $500,000 thing. I know that last week at the race in Chicago, you weren't very happy with Vuillemin after the final lap.
Yeah, I was a little hot, and, you know, he made a very aggressive pass. And I mark it down in my little notebook, and if I ever get the chance again, well, then you know, I guess I got to retaliate. But he's a great rider, and he was just going for second place, and he came from way behind. So, you know, forget about the past. Let's race tonight.
What is it about this track? You seem like you're going really good tonight.
I think I have very smooth throttle control, and this track out here is definitely taking it tonight. You know, my Honda and Dunlop tires are working great tonight, but you know, whenever you get on this asphalt-style dirt, you know, it's hard to get anything to hook up. So, you know, hopefully I can do it tonight and just get out there, be smooth, and work the throttle and the clutch right.
Well, a series of mid-season fades had him completely in the dark as to what he was doing wrong, but right here in Las Vegas right now, you can tell this kid is charged up.
He seems to be on that zone where we saw him in Dallas other times during the year where he just is able to run away. If he could just jar that up and use it every time, sometimes you lose that and it's hard to get it back. It's all confidence out there, and right now Kevin's operating on a lot more confidence than anyone else.
Ricky Carmichael, you see him coming across the finish line. That was a lapper, number 53, Terlecki, in front of him, and Elvis is in the house. Can we tell we're in Vegas right now?
There's no mistake about it.
Get the feather out of his eye.
We're not looking at Elvis, I don't think, though.
This is a great place to finish an outstanding season of EA Sports Supercross. There's no question about that. The party atmosphere, but also so much money on the line, and a lot of prestige comes out of this final race of the year. And what a season it's been for Yamaha. They totally dominated the 250 ranks this year with McGrath and Vuillemin winning their contests. The pair contested for the championship right down to the last week in Chicago. It always helps to have the world's greatest Supercross rider on your bike if you're looking for a banner year. But if you're lucky enough to also have the year's second leading winner, it can mean the greatest Supercross season ever. Such is the case this year for Yamaha, as Jeremy McGrath and David Vuillemin combined for 13 wins in the 15 races.
It's a little unique in the sense that you know, we have two teams basically that we need to support. We're there 100% for Jeremy with the equipment and everything, and so coordinating that. Steve Butler is the guy on our team from the factory team that coordinates with Chaparral to work specifically with Jeremy, and then he's also involved with our team, as me and everybody else are. But you know, it's just a unique situation that we have an outside team and the factory team, and both sides are winning their share of races, and we're first and second in the championship, and you know, it's a dream come true, I think, for everybody involved.
It's been 20 years since Team Yamaha set the previous record of 12 wins in a season. Ironically, it was without the services of the great Bob Hanna. Mike Bell stepped it up for 7 wins. Brock Glover captured the checkers 4 times, and Rex Staten won Daytona.
Well, I guess you have to start with the previous year that Bob Hanna was the Supercross champion for Yamaha in 77, 78, 79. And in the summer of 79, he ended up breaking his leg water skiing, and you know, we had Mike Bell on the team, and Rex Staten and Brock Glover, I believe, were the riders. And you know, I remember Mike Bell ended up being the champion, and you know, we talked about his work habits and what he needed to do that he could win the championship, especially without Bob there. You know, there was a lot of opportunity for a lot of riders, and you know, we were lucky enough to have a team that stepped up to the plate with 3 riders winning races and winning those 12 events, and Bell going on to win the championship. It's every team's dream that when the main guys, or guy as it may be, isn't there, that everybody else steps up and you know, does what they're capable of doing.
A big reason for Yamaha's success this year has been the technical and mechanical crews. But Keith McCarty's maneuvering when faced with losing riders like Jeff Emig, Ezra Lusk, and Kevin Windham was also a big key to the success this year.
It was a good thing for Yamaha, and I think Jeremy too, that you that we had a team that could put together this type of program. Again, this was the beginning for us of the outside team that we were assisting, and this is the third year of that scenario, I believe, and it's worked out very well. He's kind of been a team leader for even our factory team. He's really a good guy to have around and to bring your team up. So, and then this year with David Vuillemin being involved and winning a lot of events as well and being second in the series, I think that everybody hopes that their team can work in this way. It's probably best for the brand that there's multiple winners because it shows the strength of the bike and not just one individual. This year for us, it's working out very well that way.
Excellence at every level has given Yamaha the edge entering the new century. An incredible year for Yamaha, and as you see Jeremy McGrath inside his 18-wheeler back at the pits now, they're discussing with Larry Brooks on the left the strategy, what happened out there. Let's go down right now to Robbie Floyd, who is with Randy Lawrence, and he's the wrencher of Jeremy McGrath.
Right. Randy, normally you say you don't have that many fixes in between the heat race and the main event, but it's a little bit different tonight. You're saying you have a little problem with traction. Going to make a change.
Yeah, a little bit. We actually went to a different tire. We haven't ran this in a race. And me and the guy from Bridgestone, we talked a little bit about it, and we thought it would be good for the start and some of the obstacles on the course, the way the dirt was looking. But it looked like it was getting a little side to side in the whoops.
What made you want to change, first time ever coming out here, but you knew you could go back to it in the main event?
Yeah, we knew we could go back in the main event. It's a tire we haven't tried in a race. We looked at the conditions, thought it might be better, and it did work well on the other parts of the course except the whoops. They're really hard and slick on top. And with the other tire, we think we're going to get a little bit better drive and a little straighter line through there with that.
Well, Art, I guess that's why they're number one out there, always trying to find something new, and again, trying it for the first time here tonight, but they're going back to Old Faithful.
Robbie, it's so valuable having you back in the pits to get that information for us. While Yamaha was dominating the 250 ranks, winning the 125 East Championship was not quite as easy. But thanks to a spectacular performance by Stefan Roncada, not one, but two more trophies will be added to the company's racing collection. In a season that saw the sport's future superstars reach a parity that was only a Pete Rozelle dream for the NFL, one rider stood out from the rest to capture 4 victories: Stefan Roncada. In the past, there were those who felt that this likable Frenchman had the speed but questioned his physical and mental toughness, key elements in winning a title. But he came into this season in the best shape of his life after off-season arm pump surgery. A crash with his teammate Ernesto Fonseca took away a possible podium in the 125 Eastern opener, but then he survived a spectacular crash in qualifying to lead every lap at Pontiac, becoming the 7th different rider to win in the first 7 125 races.
I had surgery on my arms last year. My arm pumps are gone now, it's not an excuse anymore, and I'm happy I can prove tonight I can win without letting go at the end, so that's one of the best nights of my life. I'm so happy right now.
Stefan then became the East Division's first 2-time winner, leading all but 3 laps in Atlanta.
Yeah, I'm so happy right now. I don't know what to say. My Yamaha offshore is working great. The mechanic did a great job. This is the best. I had a good start. Took the lead. I was lucky I just to crash, but it's a race. I'm happy I won tonight.
Despite being 10 points off the lead in 3rd place with 3 races to go, Roncada seemed to thrive on the pressure of a 3-rider battle for the championship. He never got a whole shot during the season, but masterfully picked his way through to the lead. Once in the lead, he didn't crack. Back-to-back wins in Pontiac and New Orleans threw him into a tie with Brock Sellers in the points race, with Travis Pastrana just 6 points back. Once again, the cool of an otherwise excitable Stefan Roncada showed through. A 2nd-place finish behind his teammate Ernesto Fonseca gave him his first American professional title.
Maybe that feels so good. I don't know if it's sweat or tears on my face right now, but it's amazing. I couldn't wait for that, and it happened tonight. I don't know what to say. It's just like Shea did a couple of weeks ago. Woo!
Stefan Roncada really trying to imitate Shea Bentley's scream there at the end, David Bailey. Couldn't quite get to the pitch in a French scream like the Georgia scream from Bentley.
No, I don't think anyone's going to match Shea Bentley. He even topped Cuba Gooding Jr. and Jerry Maguire.
We're getting ready for the last chance qualifiers for the 125s, both in the East and the West. You see Robbie Skaggs, number 115 there out of Lawrence, Kansas, on the Husqvarna. He's got Joseph Aloff Kelly Smith, also an important rider on the KTM number 41. Hawthorne, Wheeler, Carpenter, Curry, DeHaan, and Jason Fink. Inside Jeremy's trailer. Back in the pits. Got the shirt off. He's sitting down, relaxing. Such an important evening, and we've got one of his best friends, if not his best friend, sitting right next to us now, Jimmy Button, as we take a look if they're ready for the start of the 125 lineup of the last chance qualifier. Right now, Kelly Smith, number 41, edging out in front of the last chance qualifier, and I think what all the fans around the United States want to know is just how you're feeling, Jimmy Button, as number 115, Robbie Skaggs, takes the lead here in the last chance qualifier. Had a little trouble getting you on mic, Jimmy. Jimmy Button, it's great to see you after that tragic accident in Phoenix, Arizona. And we're having some trouble with your microphone, Jim. So just hold on. It's Robbie Horton, or Robbie Skaggs, I should say. He tries to hold on here to the 150.
He's just getting tuned up off the start, too, with all those KTMs out horsepower him to the corner, but he was patient, able to work his way around in one of the rhythm sections before the sand, and he's still got a lot of company back there. He can't make a mistake right here. He's going to drop 2 positions, not 1.
Third, Kelly Smith with the KTM moving into second place there, number 41. Of course, Kelly made himself famous in St. Louis last year when he led 14 3/4 laps before Fonseca came calling.
That was a case where Fonseca just thought he could thread that needle and fit through there, and he just came up about a couple inches short. And really mean to make that happen. Kelly was not too happy about it, and kind of went back and forth of having the crowd on his side and not having him on his side because he was so irritated. A lot of people were liking the fact that Fonseca was able to come from so far behind to make that pass. It was an exciting race. It's too bad for Kelly.
The interesting portion here is normally we would see 4 125 riders advance to the main event out of the last chance qualifier, but now with the 125 shootout, we only have 2 that qualify from East, the West, and the East division. Let's go down to Robbie.
An arena cross champion, Buddy Antonez, and Buddy, you had a little talk with Jeremy. What do you have to say to a guy who's the winningest rider of all time in Supercross?
Shoot, I mean, what can you say to Jeremy McGrath other than to go out there and have fun? The guy's amazing on the track, and you know, I was just watching a few guys and just talking to him about what he was thinking, and he said he's just trying a few different lines out there. I look for Jeremy to be fast and strong in the 20-lap main, you know, for sure.
Well, I know you were ending the series on a high note, but you actually had a crash and you were injured. I know you wanted to be here in Vegas to prove to everybody that the 4-time arena cross champion has what it takes to win here.
Thanks, Robbie. Yeah, I'd like to be out here racing for Suzuki and all my sponsors, and you know, unfortunately, wasn't able to, but I'm here watching, and it's a lot of fun. It's great to come out here and just relax and enjoy the show.
Well, the Bud man's supporting his good friend Jeremy McGrath, and he says he might have been taking it a little bit easy, so we'll have to see when that main event comes around.
I think it would have been interesting to see Buddy try some Supercross this year after that 4th consecutive Arena Cross Championship, but of course he had to take care of the off-season surgery. But
now he's becoming the Jeremy McGrath of the Arena Cross series. He's been pretty unstoppable lately, and I really don't see any guys that have the experience he has, and obviously he's got some intimidation in his favor as well. He should be able to win another. Skaggs still got a lot of company there. Kelly trying to wheelie through that whoop section. He keeps getting close through here, but he can't make a pass.
Still in second behind Robbie Skaggs. Husqvarna trying to make a mark here, but win the LCQ.
Well, if you can't just get right around, at least stay real close, make the guy worry. And Skaggs made a little mistake there, but he's able to recover.
Back of the pits. Even Jeremy McGrath's watching this one.
It's a little dark in there.
The lounge.
I think what they're probably doing is reviewing that videotape from the heat race to figure out why the heck Kevin was able to pull out to an 8-second lead. I haven't really ever seen that happen to Jeremy, so he's got to be a little concerned, and I'm sure he's going to rectify that problem. It sounds like it was a little bit to do with the bike and trying to get traction. And like Jeremy always does, he'll fix it for the main.
White flag is out. Robbie Skaggs and Kelly Smith on their way, unless a mistake is made. to the 125 main event for the shootout.
Down here on this section of the racetrack, where they actually go out of the stadium, Skaggs always has a little bit of a lead, but as they get through this, entering back into the stadium, there's a potential triple right there leading into a big one. As they get to the other end, Kelly always closes back up again, which is good because they're approaching the finish. Listen to the throttle through there. Just getting beat. It takes so much strength to get through those loops, and you're still trying to make a right-hand turn the whole time, and as you lean over a little bit, the tops of those loops, you heard Randy Lawrence talk about how slippery they are. They're slick there in the same way they are on this section, and they're trying to turn at the same time.
Skaggs, after that qualifying for the opener, has raced in all the remaining 125 East events. His best was an 8th in St. Louis, and right now he takes the checkered flag as Kelly Smith tried the inside move, but it just didn't work. But Kelly also will be going to the 125 shootout main event, placing second place in this last chance qualifier for the 125 East. There you have it, the wrenchhead.com results page presented by Toyota Trucks, EA Sports Supercross, Robbie Skaggs, and Kelly Smith. The work is continuing in the pits right now as we check out the pit camera. And they're looking at Jeremy McGrath. That's Steve Butler, the main liaison with Team Yamaha, the factory. And Randy Lawrence just double checking every nut and bolt. Let's go to Davey Coombs.
Well, Robbie, you got to feel relieved. You made the big trip out here to Las Vegas, and you're going to the main event.
Yeah, we've had a rough year and had a little bit of a bad start in my heat race. Got the whole shot in the last chance and held on for the win. I'm really stoked to be in the main here in Vegas.
Hey, how's it going to be to get Alessio Chiotti on the team with you next week?
That's going to be a learning experience. He's really fast. He's a 3-time world champion, and I'm just going to try to learn as much as I can.
Good job. We'll watch you in the main, Robbie.
Thanks.
Watching this race all the way and sitting with us, and it's such a pleasure now. I think we've got our mic problems settled. Jimmy Button. Jimmy Button, please repeat to the many, many fans worldwide on our DirecTV how things are coming along after that tragic accident in Phoenix.
Things are coming really great. My trainer has been with me, Corey War's been with me the whole time, and you know, my family's been behind me 100%, as well as Yamaha and everybody else, all my fans, and therapy's going great. I'm making you know, outstanding progress. You know, my hands are working, my legs are working, and you know, I'm here walking around in Vegas, and it's a great thing.
You want to call the race with me?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's check it out, see who gets the whole shot here. We've got Shea Bentley for the last chance qualifier, but that's Burkhardt, number 188. Burkhardt, you might recall, got the whole shot of the qualifier, but he faded back.
You know what? I don't even see Shea out there.
I think that's a mistake on the lineup sheet. I think Shea got 9th at qualified. It is. So disregard the last comment, Jimmy. Didn't mean to mislead you on your first announcing appearance.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, Burkhardt has had good fast starts in the past, and he shows us once again that he's got the speed.
Yeah, for sure. I've you know, been catching everything on ESPN too, and you know, it's been great to see these new kids come up, and you know, the KTMs are doing really well this year, and it's great to see another you know, manufacturer in there, and you know, mixing it up with the, you know, the top 4.
Well, we've really got a close battle right here. Jason McCormick, number 36, is on the trail of this train. Keith Johnson and Isaiah Johnson, and of course that's Isaiah right there. Isaiah doing a pretty good job this year, has a podium on the season. But of course Keith Johnson, number 57, coming back from injury. And look at that, number 68, and that's Isaiah and Keith really going at it, scratching some plastic here in the last chance qualifier for the West.
Yeah, they're going after each other out there. It's a great race. I got to ride a little bit with Isaiah in Switzerland this year at an international race, and really good kid. It's good to see him out there mixing it up.
There you see the order of things here on the EA Sports results. As we've got number 68, Isaiah Johnson in second place. For sure, of course, there's only 2 spots available. If Burkhardt can stay out in first, this is the bubble right here we're looking at.
It's going to be interesting to see what kind of last lap maneuvers get taking place here.
Now, you've been talking to a lot of people. You've been talking to Jeremy almost every day. What do you think about the Vance Triple Crown coming up?
I think it's great that, you know, it's gone on, and that, you know, David's won the first 2, and, you know, brought it before when they've had it. You know, Ezra's won 1 or Jeremy's won 1, and it's always, you know, kind of lost its helium in the balloon a little bit. And it's great to see David's got the chance to do it. I think it'd be awesome if he won the race. For one, he's my teammate, that'd be great, but I think it'd just be great to see somebody take home some big money like that.
You've been in situations like this, there are instances where there's one spot available and you got to battle. And it looks like right now that Isaiah has got the upper hand on Keith. He's having trouble through the whoops.
For sure, it's this is one place you never want to be in a Supercross race. You never want to be in that last chance. It's always scary going into the first corner, and when you're on that bubble position, you're always thinking someone's on your back, and of course everyone wants to get into that main event. You might have some bad luck in a heat race or whatever, and you just want to make it in. So, that bubble position is not the best place to be in the last chance qualifier.
What about the sand section, Jim? You've been through a lot of sand in your day.
It's good. It's really good. It's it slows the pace down. Not always whoops. They're changing. Every single lap. I know last year in Indianapolis was a huge section of sand, and it was really deep, and it changed every single lap. And I think quite a few people made mistakes there. I think I was fortunate enough to get through it every lap without going down, and stuff like that is great to see on Supercross track. It just divides everything up.
Jimmy Button, you've faced a lot of challenges on the track, but you've got the biggest challenge of your life right now.
For sure, it's been an eye-opening experience, that's for sure. And I've been talking to David, and I've talked to quite a few people who've been in this position, and David just told me to keep trying as hard as I can, and just try to do the best that I can, and I'm just trying to uphold that, and everything's working out really well. I've been fortunate enough that my injury wasn't so bad that it was going to be impossible for me to recover, but it's been a difficult road, but I think I'm up to the challenge, and I'm working as hard as I can to get my body back on track.
Well, you've had a lot of prayers going your direction, partner, and it's wonderful to see you in such good health right now.
For sure, it's been great to see. You always know you're popular and the fans like it, but I tell you what, when something like this happens to you, it's an eye-opening experience to see how many people really do care about you in the industry and the people outside the industry. It's been great. Everyone's been just awesome to me, and trying to do the best things that they can, whether it be just writing a note to me or sending me a card or flowers or whatever it's been. Everything that everyone's been doing for me has really been keeping me positive, and has made this whole experience bearable for me. So I appreciate everything that everybody's done for me, and hopefully everyone who's out there listening to the telecast will understand that I just really appreciate everything they've done.
Jimmy, thanks for joining us here in the booth. The final lap is underway from Mark Burkhardt, and it looks like he's got this LCQ for the 125 left pretty well sewed up. A terrific thanks for Jimmy to make his way up to the press box. And rubbing fenders, all kinds of action out. Keith Johnson in front of Isaiah Johnson, and the checkered flag is waving. Let's see who's going to take that second spot. It's number 68, Isaiah Johnson, finally, after they had all kinds of rubbing there in the whoops before the final checkered flag. Let's go down to Davey Combs. Davey.
I'm down here with the team manager for AM Leonard, and actually tonight he's also the mechanic for Mark Burkhardt. This is Kirk Patel. Kirk, you guys got in.
Yeah, Mark's done a great job. He wasn't even feeling well due to the temperature, and I'm really proud of him. He's coming off injuries. He's a great kid, but all of our kids are great, and we have two managers. I'm actually the technical manager, and we have Sid Carter's the logistics managers, but I'm really happy for Mark because he really dug down deep for that one. Thanks, Dave.
So an exciting action even in the last chance qualifiers of the 125. They want to get into that mix of the shootout, David Bailey.
Absolutely.
Take another look at this last lap. It's awesome.
Well, he gets a little out of control right there. He talked about how slippery those whoops are. Now watch behind him. These guys are getting together. They're fighting for the same line. Isaiah Johnson gets crossed up into one of those tough blocks.
But then Isaiah comes back. And Isaiah comes back to be the final qualifier out of the 125 East. We're getting set now for the 125 West riders.
That 125 last chance qualifier looks a little different than usual. That's because of the different format for this East-West shootout. Normally you'd see the line full. That's why there's not as many riders to qualify out of the last chance qualifier, and those guys are fighting for position. If there's only 4 or 5 guys on the track, you don't want to be 4th or 5th. You want to be up there getting into the main event.
Well, here you have the wrenchhead.com official results with Mark Burkhardt and Keith Johnson getting in front of Isaiah Johnson as far as the official count is concerned. And so they must have been pretty close over that finish line. So we've got the semifinal now for the 250s. Doug DeHaan, Travis Hodges, Ryan Terlecki.
See Mike Craig right here on the right-hand side. Just to hit the inside of him is Heath Voss. He's got our onboard camera and the sign sideways. Oh, Voss gets stuck in the gate. That's what it looks like. Those gates fall individually. He went too early.
Amazing. Our helmet cam stuck in the gate. He was probably pretty anxious to get out there. Number 51 is Jason Thomas. He's the Iron Man. He's been in 7 events where he has qualified for both the 125 and the 250. Number 11 is Chris Young, a Californian on the Suzuki.
Jason Thomas just fighting around the outside, that powder berm, trying so hard to work his way into the lead. Disappears. He's got Mike Craig back there. He's going to be knocking on that door if he can't get around into the lead here quickly. That guy ride Jason Thomas.
Is he amazing?
Talk about a guy that's riding a lot of laps in practice. He's hopping on a 125, back onto the 250, back onto the 125, and here he is leading.
He's a bulldog of a rider. Not only 7 times has he made both 125 and 250 events, but he's also made several separate events throughout the season. You can forget Atlanta when he went over the berm leading the LCQ. Oh, and Jason Thomas goes down in the whoops. And taking over things is number 49. That's Pedro Gonzalez out of Monterrey, Mexico.
Well, right behind Thomas as they entered the corner, Gonzalez and Craig got together. Gonzalez got the better end of that.
Ted Campbell went down, number 96.
And a mistake by the leader.
Thomas up and running again, number 51, out of Melrose, Florida. He is a true privateer, drives a van from city to city. Take another look and see what happened here to Jason.
Oh, he's cruising through that whoop section. Everything's going good. I think he got a little sideways there. Hits one. The suspension just completely rebounds the other way, throws him off. And over to the left, Gonzalez had just won a battle in the corner with Mike Craig. Just picks up the lead because he wasn't following.
Looked like he was on a bucking Bronco right now. As we go on to our onboard, and Heath Voss.
Well, this is all great news for Heath Voss with all these guys out front battling with each other, crashing. It's going to help him get up into a spot. He just needs to get in the top 5 to make the main.
Gonzalez, Chris Young, Michael Craig, Heath Voss, the top 4 right now.
So Craig is sitting right up front there for a moment while Voss was in last. Now Voss is making his move.
Heath Voss, number 33 on the inside. Michael Craig, number 43. He kind of looks to the side. He looked to the side to see if Craig was next to him, and now takes off on the straightaway.
He wanted to make sure in the air that Craig wasn't having ideas of coming down the inside for that block pass. If he had of, Voss would have crossed that bike up in the air a little bit, aimed to the inside upon landing, and sort of cut off that passing opportunity.
Voss usually keeps his eyes right down there on the track, as we've noted from the helmet cam, because it's mounted right on top of the helmet. And that's kind of the first time I think he was that curious to look to the side.
You don't want to get somebody coming underneath you like that. You don't want to leave the door open right there. He was just checking it out to make sure.
Voss, number 33, moving up a notch. Oh, this is a great ride for him.
Up over the triple, double into the corner. He'll go wide. Get a little run at these whoops. They try to jump that double in the middle of these. Goes back to the inside. Give Craig any opportunity to come back on him.
Voss was the top privateer in 4 individual races of the season, including Dallas, which was 2 races ago for him.
Tell you what a ride this would be. He's closing in on Gonzalez for the lead. So we're going to see it all.
Here comes Heath Voss, battling number 49. Gonzalez comes over the finish line jump first as they've got more laps to go. Heath Voss is right on his tail. What a shot. Pedro Gonzalez was a runner-up in the 125s, winning in San Jose 1 year, and then he got an injury, a practice injury in Mexico, and just didn't respond rapidly, getting back into top shape like he was.
Well, from that shot on top of Voss's helmet, you see a little bit of fuzz, and they lose the signal as they go outside the stadium. When they come back and you go to it, there's a little bit of a fuzz in the middle of that shot. And that's because a piece of dirt has been roosted off the bike in front of him. messed up the lens a little bit. You can see how it's a little bit out of focus. That's what you have to deal with goggles. It's no different. That's why these guys pull those tearaways off in the air to try to clear their vision again. Otherwise, they're looking at this. It's very difficult to see the line.
I was searching my memory for the year that he was second in the 125 West. It was 1994 that Pedro Gonzalez took second in the points, winning at San Jose.
Watch what happens through the whoops right here. Gonzalez has been going to the right. Voss is going to come down the middle with all that strength. Look at that.
Ah, the Bulldog. Heath Voss guy has the inside, too. Can he block him out and retake the lead? Heath Voss does, to the cheer of the fans.
How's that? We're taking you with us from last to first in a semi. What a ride by Voss.
Oh, this is terrific.
I'm actually we're gonna have to thank him for getting stuck in that gate just to show people what it's like when you go early.
Boy, I'd like to see that pass again, wouldn't you, David? Right here it is.
Nice block pass right there at the end of the whoop section. The problem with the line that Gonzalez has down the right side of the whoops is that if you don't get through there quick enough, you open the door at the end of the straightaway, and Voss rode right through it.
Heath Voss in Chicago, the last race. He tied Michael Craig's mark, which was the best privateer finish of the year at the time, a 9th place. And so he's on a roll for a privateer. Well, explain, David Bailey, what a privateer, what it really means in this game.
Well, a factory-sponsored rider, you get the most special parts for your bike. Everything is different. The brakes are better. The suspension is better. You can make more adjustments to the bike throughout the night. A little bit more power, a little bit better power. Of course, you're coming out of the semi. Everyone's doing everything for you. For Voss, he's working on his own bike. He's working on his practice bikes. He doesn't have the luxury of sitting in that semi and looking at videos like we're seeing McGrath doing throughout the course of tonight. It's a lot more work for you. And you don't get to go to that starting line knowing that everything you have under you is the best equipment and you're rested and ready.
Not only that, but you usually have 4 qualifying races to run. And that puts more wear and tear on the bike you do have, as we're on the white flag lap for Heath Voss.
Last lap, first, good. I'd say, coming from last place, and he doesn't have a lot of the factory stars in the semi, but still it's a fine ride to come from last.
Heath has won the semifinal round before this year, and he's won 4 semifinals already. This would be number 5, of course, and a well-earned one, as he had a great battle with Pedro Gonzalez to go back on board.
Over the triple. 2 laps right up there going to the inside. He'll go wide. This is the line he's been using anyway. He's around that lap rider, no problem. Back to the inside. So he's been consistent. The lines he's using now that he's got a clear track with the same ones he was using when he was working his way through the pack. Looking up into the crowd.
Heath also had a 10th at St. Louis. And when you get 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, you're in the top privateer range right there.
That 9th last week was a big boost for him.
The checkers for Heath Voss, and his crew couldn't be happier. Heath getting some factory connection support, and there you see a good shot of the camera where it's placed up there. Let's go down to Davey Combs. Davey, you got a happy guy with you?
That's right, Art. I'm with Sean Ward. Sean, that had to have given you a lot of excitement watching your iron get stuck in the gate like that.
Yeah, at first I saw him stuck in the gate, and I'm like, oh, but you mean he's really pumped tonight and wants to do well. He could secure 10th if he gets a good finish tonight in the main, and I mean, it's going to be his night.
Let's go over to Robbie Floyd.
You remember the Supercross Series, the EA Sports 2000 Supercross Series started off without one of his brightest stars. Jeff Emig was injured a week before the first round at Anaheim. Well, he was looking forward to the outdoor nationals, but a practice crash at Glen Helen has also cost him. He had a compound fracture in his leg and also some back injuries. 8 hours in surgery yesterday, and with me is his manager, Tony Strangio. And Tony, he also has some back problems. Tell us what the current situation is with Jeff right now.
The current situation is that Jeff did have some injuries to his lower back, and he had some vertebrae damage. And they went in there today and just repaired them. And he's been in surgery for most of the day today, and it's over with now, and now he's just time to recoup and get well.
Really no luck for Jeff at all this year.
Yeah, no luck at all. I mean, he was so pumped to come back from his wrist. We didn't even think they were going to heal like they did, and they did. And, you know, he's ready to go. He was ready to go.
Well, Davey, I know your prayers are out for him, too. Bad luck for Jeff.
Thank you, Robbie. As we go up top now with the 250 semifinal number 2. Let's go back to Davey now, who's with a very happy guy as well, and the winner of that last round.
Real quick, Heath, was that the most exciting semi you ever rode?
Yeah, I just went a little bit too quick and the gate fell, and I got stuck in the gate, but it was a good race. It was really muddy and slick. Almost slid out a few times, and Went through a lot of tear-offs and stuff, but it was a lot of fun.
Heath Voss, our winners. We take a look at the results page now, brought to you by EA Sports and Honda. Voss, Gonzalez, Craig, and Thomas. Thomas getting back into qualifying position after he went down. A tremendous race by Jason Thomas. Number 65, Grayson Goodman. Check him out as the board is sideways, and we're all set to go for semi number 2. Grayson had a long way to come from that outside, but he's about 5th position as the battle up front is with Lewis, number 112. And also 410, Travis Hodges out of Albuquerque, New Mexico on the Kawasaki. It's Hodges having trouble. Kyle Lewis trying to take advantage of it as they go outside the stadium.
You see how sideways Hodges got getting out of that corner. That's what Voss was talking about. What they did was they put a little bit of water down on the racetrack, which they needed to do. But that first couple of laps when the water's there on this hard, slick surface, it makes it even slicker. I'd rather be able to see where I was going, though, and slide a little bit than have it in dust.
Boy, that was some rough action just to hold on to the bike and keep it upright. Take another look at it.
Well, look at Grayson Goodman there on the outside. He knows he can't get into the corner. So he just slows down. He doesn't want to get caught up in anything. The guys may get pushed wide up over into those speed stick tough blocks. You see all the guys bunching up to the inside right there. So it was a smart decision by Goodman, who normally gets hole shots, to just back off and play it safe. Right now he's running 4.
Binkley, one of those tied up in that first turn crash, as number 62 is trying to make a move.
Goodman working his way right up into the thick of things.
And that's Pavoni, 62. Tortelli getting in the mix right there. There's not enough room on that racetrack.
These guys do not want to have to go to the last chance qualifier. They're using more than the racetrack they've been given. Goodman at the front of this freight train battle right here. The next guy he's got in his sights is Pavoni running 3rd. And Pavoni won his first semi of his career last week in Joliet.
Number 65, Grayson Goodman. This is the last race of the line career by Grayson. He's been in the game a long time, but decided, hey, I've got a family. I've got a home building business waiting for me in Dallas with my brother and my father. And it's just time that I should take consideration and go for it. Look at that. What a jump. A great leap by number 204. That's Doug DeHaan. Mickey number 53 and DeHaan number 204. DeHaan trying to move up on that Honda.
I talked with Goodman yesterday about this being his last race, and I said, hey, just go out there and enjoy it. Just savor it. Look up in the crowd, and, just soak it all up. He goes, oh, I have been. He goes, and I was looking up there, really enjoying it, just enjoying the fact that I'm being out there on the track with the greatest riders in the world. He goes, I didn't even ride the second practice. I've just been having a great time this week.
Let's take a look at the action from the last lap. Goodman was involved in that as well, 65.
Well, Tortelli just takes the corner a little bit wide, gets all the way out, doesn't leave any room.
Todd Dowds went sliding into the tough block.
Probably one of the slickest sections on the racetrack right there. Look at these guys. They're getting on the power. They're not getting any traction at all. That was the problem McGrath was having with a tire that he was gambling on, thinking it would hook up even better, and it was worse.
65, Grayson Goodman continues to hunt down James Pavoni, who's in 3rd place. It's Kyle Lewis, our leader, and Grayson Goodman currently in 4th.
He stays there, he'll make the main. He's got some company back there, but Grayson should be able to hang on. I know he'd like to make the main in his last race. He does not want to have to watch this from the stands. He's still got the last chance qualifier after this race if something would happen. He wants to go that far.
And of course, after qualifying, we've got the 125 shootout, the best of the East and the West, and then the final race of the man's triple crown with $500,000 resting on the outcome for David Vuillemin should he win it. Grayson Goodman running a fine race here in the semifinal.
He's starting to pull away from this pack a little bit. I think he's starting to set his sights more on Pavoni up in front of him in 3rd.
Ryan Tortelli is currently in 5th. That is the last qualifying position, but coming on strong is Doug DeHaan. He would love to knock him off and get into the main and avoid going to the last chance qualifier.
And not only DeHaan, but you got Hedden back there, Clark. You guys are all close enough. Tortelli's going to have to be mistake-free here. all the way over the big tunnel, onto the downside. Not that aggressive through that corner. He's not going out and using the berm. And the reason for that is the berm is all loose dirt that's gotten pushed. It's pushed all the way into the fence. So you run the risk of getting a foot peg caught in the chain link out there because the track has gotten so wide.
Boy, DeHaan loves that jump as he's pursuing now Grayson Goodman. He just jumped by and is taking on Goodman now. DeHaan looking sharp. Look out, Grayson.
Grayson's been pretty steady through this whoop section, and the fact that he's got this pressure now, he's picked it up a little bit this whole battle. Look how close they've gotten out of 62 Pavoni.
Kyle Lewis, Travis Hodges, James Pavoni, the top three. Grayson Goodman fourth. Doug DeHaan is fifth. DeHaan is number 204.
A little bit off the edge of the racetrack right there. These guys are running the left side down that straightaway, and if you make a little bit of a mistake, you don't have much racetrack left, and you're running right on the edge like that. All it takes is to just get a little bit offline, lose your balance, you go off the track, and you're definitely going to have to go to the last chance qualifier. These guys are just trying to find a better line. They're starting to develop some ruts out there, some little potholes, slick spots. These guys are searching for the best traction.
Can Goodman hold on? 2 laps to go. And number 204 wants to get by. 65, 204, bar to bar. There comes DeHaan again. DeHaan, who has not raced this well all year long, is taking advantage of several riders.
He's riding excellent. I really like this racetrack. I've never seen him get up there and just make Goodman look slow like that, but he made that pass look easy. Goodman's jumping the triple as well.
This would be the first 250 that Doug DeHaan has qualified all season long. The final lap is underway. Kyle Lewis our leader still. Hodges in second, Pavoni in third. And Doug DeHaan has moved up into fourth.
And now Goodman, who just got passed by DeHaan, runs the risk of getting passed by Hedden back there in the Kawasaki's. Goodman cannot relax much more. He's going to have to go to that last chance qualifier.
Grayson Goodman still in fifth.
Reminds me a little bit of the LA Coliseum. We go up the peristyle and able to get the bike in the third and fourth gear up the hill. It's a little bit darker as you go out of the stadium, then you re-enter right here. Look at all the people. It's a little bit lonely out there, out back. You come back to the stadium and hear all that cheer and it pumps you up.
Grayson Goodman in the final qualifying spot in fifth.
A little bit of a cushion, but he still has that whoop section, and anything can happen through there. There's Kyle Lewis.
The checkered flag for Kyle Lewis.
On the race for Kyle, he's doing 1:14 lap time to the 1:17 of this pack back here.
And there's Pavoni 62, and Doug DeHaan 204, and Grayson Goodman number 65. Grayson Goodman trying to hold off Jeff Hetton now and qualify for the main event, and he does so.
Barely.
Whoa, just capturing that number 5 position. But Kyle Lewis, his best was a 10th at Indy, and he's been right in there with wonderful privateer performances. Let's go down to Davey.
Well, I'm down here with Ross Miles, and this is Kyle's mechanic. Ross, you got to be excited. You guys going to the main event.
Yeah, it's good to get in the main. It's our first semi win, and this weekend was a hard weekend. We struggled a lot with jetting and being, warm here with not much air. And so it's good to see we finally got things together, and hopefully we can do something in the main.
Good luck.
Thanks a lot, David.
Checking out the results now in what was really a great race for qualifying. Don't forget, out of the top 5, they have to go on to the last chance qualifier. Lewis, Hodges, Pavoni, DeHaan, and Grayson Goodman holding on. Let's go back to Davey.
Well, I got to tell you, Kyle, Eric and Jordan and Kurt and all the guys at Moto Triple X got to be really excited to have a rider of your caliber out there. You got, what, 3 Japanese national championships?
Yeah, I ended up with 2 national championships over in Japan. Too bad it's the last race to put the Moto Triple X bike up front there. I just had a great time out there, Davey. I've been working on a couple new sponsors. I have tickets.com looking at me, running the sticker tonight. They're pretty stoked. I don't know, it's good to be up in the front in the semi. Better start position for the main. Just wish it was not the last race. But I've had fun all season. Hopefully next year I'll be able to put it up front a little bit further. I'd like to thank all my sponsors this year. O'Neill, HAC helmets, Dunlop tires, Smith goggles, shoot, especially the guys from Motorplex. They put up a big effort for me. I want to thank them. And Pace, and you, Dave, you guys do a great job. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. It's good to have you back in America.
Thanks a lot.
Boy, you could sure tell how hot it is down there in those races, even though you get a lot of breeze with the perspiration on Kyle Lewis's face, David Vuillemin.
Well, when you're riding, you got that little bit of breeze, but as soon as you stop, that heat catches up with you, and you can see he's a little bit out of breath and sweating. And he didn't have to ride that hard. He had the lead. Gives you a little peek into what's going to happen in the main event. A longer lap time than usual by about 10 seconds.
Well, Grayson Goodman makes the main event. It'll be his last, as we explained. After running with the big boys, he's headed home for good. We say goodbye to an old Supercross friend tonight in Las Vegas. After more than a decade of racing, Grayson Goodman is retiring with a ton of great memories.
The best thing I'm going to take away with me is the friendships I've developed over the years, and traveling to different countries, and just traveling, touring the world, really meeting great people, not just in America but all over the world. I have good friends in Brazil that I talk to on the phone still once a month at least, and the friendships, I'm definitely going to stay with certain group of friends that I've developed over the years that are my best friends, and I won't lose contact with them.
I mean, Grayson's one of my best friends, and it's going to be a sad thing not to see him at the races every weekend with me and all of our friends. Our sport is kind of like, no matter what anyone says, it's kind of like a family. We grow up with each other, 8-9 years on the tour every year, and it's like having brothers and sisters, every weekend at the track. And I'm not a youngster in my career anymore either, and I kind of think about those things every once in a while. And it's going to be tough for him, but he'll do well in his transition. He's got a lot of drive, and he's got a good family, and he's a dad now, so that maybe takes priority.
A 6-month-old baby girl in a family home building business will keep Grayson busy once he retires. He'll certainly have his hands full. Although we'll see him at a few of the races as a spectator, he won't be looking for a ride. Grayson Goodman is walking away proud of his accomplishments.
If you look at it week in, week out, there's only 20 guys who can make the final, and just about every weekend I'm in the final, so I'm really proud of what I've done. There's 30 to 90 spots to be quarterback in the NFL, so I figure if I'm doing that, I'm doing some good numbers comparison to the rest of the world, what I've done for the sport. Of course, you always want to win, when you go out there, but unfortunately there's only that one spot, and I'm not able to reach that in 250 Supercross, which is the pinnacle of our sport in my eyes. So, I've gave it my all, and I'm going to move on to something else. I'll take my memories with me and my friendships with me and go on the next step in life.
So Goodman leaves with a long history in Supercross and Arena Cross. He wasn't a top-ranked rider, but few could beat him into turn one, and he gave us some wonderful racing memories. Some of the great fans here, the sellout crowd at Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, as they're anticipating, of course, a great 125 shootout. The front runners getting good gate positions, with the exception of maybe Shea Bentley, who has a choice. But Grayson Goodman, thank you so much for the memories. They were great. He's a class act, and best of luck in the business world as he goes back to Dallas, Texas. Hard to get away from that camaraderie of this fine sport. A rider who considered retirement last year because of injuries, toughed it out to become this year's 125 West Coast champion. It wasn't easy, but Shea Bentley's hard work and determination has certainly paid off big.
We still haven't gotten an official word down here. A lot of lapped riders, so they're trying to figure it out. But gotta tell you, man, tough night for you out there, but you rode like a champion, however it works out.
I did my best, that's all I can say.
Hey, I got good news for you. They just told me upstairs you won by 2 points. You're the champion.
Yeah, baby, I freaking won it! Yeah!
The screams of joy from Shea Bentley upon hearing that he had just won his first professional Supercross championship. There was a time back in January that winning the #1 plate was the furthest thing from his mind. A bewildered Bentley departed Anaheim 12th in points. All he had to show for his efforts was an injured hand and a concussion after a pointless second-round effort.
That 22nd place definitely put a lot of stuff in my head, but it made me a lot smarter. I knew I had to relax, stay calm, and just have fun, you know.
One got the impression that this delightful young man out of Georgia should start looking for a new mission in life. Injuries completely wiped out his 1999 season before it started.
The frustration was so high. I didn't know what to think, you know. All the trouble I went through last year, I just wanted to be out there on the track and just go out there and prove myself.
Just how much could he physically endure before realizing that one has but one body to give? Would he have to give up the sport he loved so dearly?
That has crossed my mind a few times. Last year, I sat down with my family and friends and, you know, I was like, you know, is this cut out for me? Because I've had a lot of injuries over the past.
A belief in himself, backed with an ambitious conditioning program, started peeking its head out from beneath the rubble of despair in San Diego. Charging from 7th to 3rd, he secured his first professional Supercross podium. While his competition was taking turns, 4 different winners in the first 4 races, Shea was continuing to improve. At Phoenix, he ignored a bad start and having to qualify out of the last chance qualifier to make a last lap pass for his first second-place finish. Then, at the historic Astrodome, Bentley's immediate dream, his first Supercross victory, became a reality.
The first win at Houston was unbelievable. The last lap, my arms were just pumped. So much stuff was going through my mind, but like they said, you know, you know you can win, but there's little doubts, you know. And when I got that first one, then I was so happy. It was like I knew everything was going my way.
No one else in the division could mount such momentum. Even after a 6-week layoff while the 125 East revved it up, Shea continued his training routine with a laser-like focus. The result was a near-perfect ride in Minneapolis. Leading every lap, he became the first 2-time winner of the division and turned the tables on the points race. Nothing would come easy, however. An early crash in Dallas confused even the most veteran prognosticators. David Pingree would make it all the way back to second place while Bentley went down again. He used every ounce of adrenaline and energy to right the bike and get on with it. Not knowing if he'd thrown the title away, Shea just kept trying. It was that never-give-up spirit that drove him to 7th place. As Pingree looked back, the disappointment on his face told the story. Bentley had won the title by 2 points.
You always set your goals to be a champion, but then you have to keep everything realistic. So I just came in this open-minded. I wanted a top 3 finish and to have fun and to learn.
The title he didn't expect was his. The last man of the Pro Circuit totem pole who was switched to the West Division when a teammate got hurt in preseason. The kid who was down to riding strictly for bonuses and incentives and given arguably the last chance at a top support ride came away with the hero's rewards. Shea Bentley, the first Supercross champion of the 2000 season. We've just received news as well from Robbie Floyd back in the pit area that the #1 bike in the West will not be running here tonight. Shea Bentley's stomach illness has overtaken him. He's had to go back to the hotel. David Bailey, he's sick as a dog and he just can't race.
Well, you know, if this was a championship race where you were getting points, I think we might see Shea just tough it out. But he's got outdoor nationals coming up next week, a whole new series, and I think he's looking forward to that and just trying to. It's a good thing that happened now and not during a points-paying race because that title he won was very close.
The bikes now are getting ready for the last chance qualifier for the 250 before we get to the 125 final. And of course the 250 final. Only 2 gates are open for the 250 final. And they'll come out of the last chance qualifier right here. 30-second board is sideways. We'll be underway with the LCQ for the 250s from Las Vegas. Good clean first corner with one exception. Number 646 getting up off the ground.
Only 2 guys out of this going to the main. I can guarantee you that's going to be a fight. Already a pass for the lead. All the way over that big tunnel. He's got close to getting to the fence right there. Those guys are going through that corner and second, shifting into third gear, about 45, 50 low. Leader going off the racetrack. Recovers.
Chris Young, number 911. Trying to battle it out with Manchu, number 201. Manchu out of the state of Georgia.
got a little off line back there. Made a good recovery through the whoops. He's taking the best line. You can see everyone behind him jammed up. Whoa.
Tough to control in that whoop section.
He's trying to angle his way to the inside. He's trying to turn through those whoops a little bit, and that does not work. You've got to go straight through there. Even that's hard. Watch right here. Haddon gets a little bit crooked. Trying to aim to the inside. Looked like he might have had that saved right there. In the last second, he just decided to step through the handlebars and try to minimize that crash. Fixing his clutch lever right there so he can go the rest of the way. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back up and qualify for this main event, but he'll still get some cash. Higher up in the field, he can move.
So it's Matt Shue on top with Ryan Terlicki in second place and Chris Young, number 911, now back in third. Terlicki on the KTM. Matt Shue doing a good job, though, pulling away.
He should have this thing under control. Matt's a great rider. Good 125 rider as well. Terlicki definitely got a lot of experience. Getting comfortable on the new KTMs.
Terlicki out of the Pacific Northwest. Matt Shue, this is only his second race in the 2000 season. He took a 17th place in Chicago. That was his first race of the 250 season.
They'd probably rather win the semi than the last chance qualifier, but either way, you get to the main event, you're still in there. It's not going to matter too much for a starting position. This will only be maybe 1 or 2 positions worse, which will probably be to the outside. We saw riders bunch up to the inside, so the outside maybe will get left wide open while everyone's trying to get to the inside and go slow and play it safe.
More trouble in the whoops, where that whoops is really eating these guys alive.
It's always around the same part of the whoop section too, about 3/4 of the way through right here.
James Fink
sticks the front wheel into the bottom, one of those things. No chance to save it right there. Hard to even get up from that position. You got a handlebar right in the stomach. It's a brutal sport. When things aren't going good, they're really not going good. But you can watch guys like Windham and McGrath. When they're on, it is really something to watch. I mean, you just can't get an idea of how hard it is from the stands. I mean, even from our vantage point up here, the 25 or 30 feet in the air, they're getting off these triples. Looks kind of easy. Down there on the track, a whole other story.
Only 2 spots available, and right now it's Shue and Terlicki with Chris Young fading back a little bit in third place.
See the difference now. Matt Shue compared to the best riders in the world, McGrath, Vuillemin, Windham. These guys able to get just under 110 for their lap times. Shue running right here about 117. It's a lot of time per lap. These guys are going to get lapped with a longer lap time, a longer race. Lappers could play a major role in deciding the outcome of the main event later on.
Shue having to deal with injuries throughout his young career, and we go back to third place now. That is number 911, Chris Young. Ted Campbell, number 96, wants to challenge, even though it's not a bubble spot. Only the top 2 qualify. These guys are having a good race.
Well, this is the money, really. And that Racer X gas card, whoever is able to finish in the first spot that doesn't make the main event gets that money.
And there's the pass. Ted Campbell taking advantage of Chris Young. Young with such a great start. Now has faded back to 4th.
Chris Young not putting up much of a fight right there. He just kind of got caught to the outside. Really wasn't much he could do about it.
Ted Campbell shaking his head. Like he got it whipped.
You know what can happen? You get a little piece of dirt inside your goggles and it bounces around in there every time you go up in the air. You could have that bouncing around in there get in his eye. I've used that as an excuse a couple of times. This looks like it's really happening.
Reaching up for the tear-off there as well.
It's got to mess with his concentration. He held on to the whoop section right there, but he took the zigzag line through it.
Todd Dowds is number 817.
Look how slippery it's getting now. Just impossible to get traction. So the big advantage there is to go out and use that berm, try to get as much speed off the berm so you don't have to be so wide open across that slick stuff. You can actually back off the power a little bit and let that rear wheel track.
Todd Dowds, Chris Young. Dowds taking the position, moving into 4th. How's this going to affect the main event being so slick? It appears like it's getting more slick as the evening goes on.
I think Kevin Windham is back there doing this slip dance, hoping it gets even worse because he seems to have things figured out, and that was the problem Jeremy was having, was finding traction out here. He always fixes it. There's Jeremy right there. He's, I guess that's Kevin Windham. They wear the same gear.
Kevin,
looks like he's either sleeping,
meditating,
or very, very focused. I'll tell you what, the nerves, they play such a major role. I mean, I've listened to self-hypnosis tapes, I listen to music. You try to do anything you can to distract yourself from the pressure of having to go out there and perform and win a race when you know that you're capable and you have the equipment to do it. But really the best thing is just face that head on. And usually you're able to deal with it a lot better. Don't ignore it, just deal with the pressure, and nobody's been better at that than McGrath over the years.
I was going to ask you, has there been ever anybody as good as Jeremy McGrath? Because he took it on so young. His first year in 250s, he had the immediate pressure, winning 10 races, winning the title his very first season.
I think that helped him, you know. I mean, think about it, ever since he got on 250, he's been winning. It didn't take him like Carmichael or Windham or any of the other guys a few years to get up there to be able to make the podium and get some wins. He started off right away. That was a huge confidence booster, and that helps you relax. Anytime you're more confident, you're able to get more out of yourself and ride your potential.
Matt Shue looks like he's going to make the main event if he holds on. He's on the final lap.
No problem for Matt. I think he's just trying to save a little bit of energy. It's hot out here in the high 80s. You saw Kyle Lewis winning his semi. It looked like he finished the main event. He's got 14 more laps to go than that for the main event. He was already tired. Sweat, you see that all over their face. That'll get built up in the foam of the goggles and splatter all over the inside of the lenses.
The checkered flag for Matt Shue. So he makes the final race of the year main event. Ryan Terlicki and Ted Campbell trying to battle it out for second place. Let's go down to Davey Combs.
I'm down here with Donnie Shue. Donnie, you got to be stoked.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Real stoked.
I know you guys made the main event last week, too. It's got to be a thrill to come out to Vegas, last Supercross of the year.
Yeah, it's great. It's really great. Yeah, we just brought everything out of the box. We had a bunch of problems in practice, and everything's kind of coming together now. Halfway through the semi, he started getting everything together. Put that together then.
Good job. Let's go to Robbie Floyd.
Well, I'm with the Team Honda riders, Kevin Windham, Ezra, Lusk, and kind of kicking back here in the pits. Looks like you're taking a nap for a second.
Yeah, I'm just relaxing and getting little tips from Yogi here and Jeff Stanton and everybody on the team. It's telling me what I need to do out there for the main. It's a lot of help.
Look like you're having fun out there on the track ever since practice. You're turning some quick lap times.
Yeah, I like it here. It's very similar to Dallas, the race I won, and I'm looking forward to having a good night and feel relaxed, and hopefully I can do it.
Tonight your night?
I hope so. You know, it's great to be here in Vegas and have the race on pay-per-view, and you know, I got to say hey to my friends back in Centerville and Baton Rouge and over across the river, and definitely say happy birthday to my dad.
All right, I'm here also with Ezra Lusk. Yogi, they've been missing you all year long, but you get to start back at Glen Helen next week.
I've definitely been missing Supercross. Being here on the team with Team Honda, Dunlop, and Fox, and Scott USA, but we'll be back for the National.
All right, look for Yogi. He says next week, Glen Helen, he's all good.
All right, we got Matt Shue down here, our 250 last chance qualifier winner. 2 in a row, man. You're making this a habit.
Yeah, I hadn't rode 250 all year until last week at Chicago, and made it in the main there, and was kind of worried about tonight. Didn't think I was going to make it. Had a lot of problems in practice, but I was able to get in there.
Congratulations. We'll let you go get ready.
Appreciate it.
Checking out the official results now, the LCQ, the last chance qualifier for the 250s. Matt Shue doesn't have too much time to get that bike back together again for the final.
No, it doesn't make it any easier. That's taking him 4 or 5 kicks to get that thing started. That takes energy too.
Here's the Suzuki results page. Matt Shue and Ryan Terlicki on their way to the main event in the final of the season here in Las Vegas. As we get set, the 125 riders have got to be getting nervous right now as the young rookie phenom Travis Pastrana gets ready for the main event. He was the top qualifier. David Pingree, who won the first race of the year in the 125 West, is going to be next to him there. And Stefan Roncada, Robbie Horton were the next best qualifiers to get their choice at the gate. Of course, Roncada, the champion in the Eastern Division. Nick Way and Schnell, a couple of very, very competent riders who had outstanding seasons. Evans, Lytle, Then Brock Sellards didn't get the best choice of gate, David Bailey, but Gosler right next to him. They both showed very competent speed throughout the year.
Now these guys are definitely fast, and this is the kind of race too where it's just a one-shot deal. The first turn is going to be very interesting, and you see Justin Bucklew right there, Ryan Clark. You know, there's so many, pretty much anybody in this field. I mean, if you think about it, they're taking the top 10 from the east, the top 10 from the west. I mean, you got Fonseca pretty far down the lineup. He's not going to get the starting position he would like, but if he gets out over the gate in that first 10 feet and hooks up, he can move over to the inside and get a great start.
Packing it down, getting ready for the start. You'd think at a hard pack they wouldn't have to bang it down like that.
Well, it's hard packed as soon as they get out over the gate. You see the wheel marks right there on that plastic piece. That's where they have all the sponsors, and these guys spin as soon as they get up over the gate. Then they get out to where it's been watered slightly, so getting traction out of the start is tough. They used to bring rakes, shovels, buckets of dirt. Jeff Ward had a special little aluminum stepping thing because he's a little bit shorter, and was able to bring that to the starting line. And once they made the rule that you couldn't bring all those tools and do all that landscaping at the start, Jeff was using that little stepping thing as a shovel. And
Wardy's on the phone. He appreciates what you just said. There's the line for the Yahoo.com Whole Shot Award, which is an extra $500, the first rider across that white line. And as we have witnessed throughout the evening, the first rider over that white line might not be the leader coming out of the white line, off the white line.
Yeah, that first turn is going to be very busy. All these guys want to win this race so bad. And my strategy going into it would be win the thing. Second, third does not make any difference. I'd want to win, and if I couldn't win, I'm going down in flames.
Already Kevin Windham has got his mind on the 250 main event that will be coming up next, the final round of the Vans Triple Crown. But first, we've got the 125s, the 125 shootout. It used to be which champion was better, the 125 West or the 125 East champion. But as David pointed out, we've got so many possibilities in this race that it's pretty much just for bragging rights coming out of this one race, David.
It is, and this is the Dave Coombs Sr. race. It was his idea to bring the 125s into Supercross. There's a good look at Travis Pastrana, and I just spoke with my dad who's been working with him a little bit, and he said Travis is very comfortable on this racetrack and knows that all he really needs to do is go out there and just live in the moment. Don't think too much. Don't make any stupid mistakes in the early laps, and he should be able to win this race.
Stefan Roncada now going through his nervous pre-race gyration. There's number 23, Nick Way. See a lot of jerking action there. 32nd board is up. We're almost set for the 125 main event from Las Vegas, Nevada, Sam Boyd Stadium. It is a sellout. Glad you could join us on the pay-per-view telecast, the very first live Supercross in the history of the sport. Thank you for helping history be made here tonight. As the 125 32nd board is now sideways, we are set to go with our main event from Las Vegas. Greg Schnell is the first off the line, and he gets the Yahoo.com Whole Shot Award. Number 63 on the outside.
A few riders going down in the first turn, none of the favorites though. What a whole shot by Greg Schnell. Looked like he was riding a 250.
Fonseca is right behind him in second place. A great start for number 28. It's going to be hard to remember him as 28. He's been running number 1 as the defending champion of the 125 East all season long.
It is a good start for him, but 199 Pastrana sits right there in third, and this is what I talked about. All he wanted to do was get out there, be in contention, be smart, let the race come to him.
Look at the great leaping action. A brand new leader in Fonseca just leaped by Greg Schnell, and Pastrana is ready to strike behind Schnell.
Schnell came up short a little bit, just off the screen there again. Another little mistake. Takes you out of your timing when you get past early like that. He thought he had control of the race. He lost it, and now he's got to contend with Pastrana.
Both Schnell and Pastrana, two-time winners in their division. And mayhem behind Pastrana.
Well, I just took down
Danny Smith,
but that was Roderick Tane that just went in there and put on a huge block pass and took them both out. That was the kind of move that you can't have happen in the first lap. Be patient, let the race come to you.
Number 120 was Roderick Tane. Here's Schnell and Pastrana now. Schnell back in the lead with Pastrana in second place and Fonseca in third as we get back to the action.
That mechanics area gets real busy. I don't know how they read anything through there. It's hard to figure out which board is yours, but this is great for Pastrana. He doesn't have to work his way around Fonseca rather. He's going to look at what Schnell, if he can't do the triple coming up right here, this is where Travis will be able to jump it, get the timing, and make the pass.
Looks to his left, and look at the guy who makes the triple, Fonseca to the inside, and he takes the lead. Back and forth they go. Here comes Pastrana. Bar to bar they go. Pastrana takes the lead.
Unbelievable. That was an excellent move by Fonseca. Pastrana chose wrong. He was on the left side on the straightaway, and Schnell kind of closed him off to the edge of the racetrack. Fonseca, excellent choice to the inside, and great reflexes. And
Fonseca's not giving up either. They avoid rubbing plastic in the corner. Pastrana now the one looking back over his shoulder. Fonseca the black pass. On the dirt-like track, he spins and keeps control, and Fonseca retakes the lead. Oh, what a great 125 shootout. Fonseca, a one-time winner, was the 9th different rider to win this year. He won the last 125 race of the regular season, and that was in Chicago. The crowd still standing on their feet with this great action going underway.
This is the first time that Pastrana and Fonseca have had an opportunity to go head-to-head. A little mistake by Pastrana back there. He started to get some pressure by Schnell, who's hanging with this pace. That is impressive. Now these guys will be able to be out in the clear. They're going to get a big boost off that jump. It sets them up for the triple. They both get over it clean. That time, yeah, that time Schnell gets over. He wants to stay in contention and took a chance right there going for that triple.
Several non-champions have won here in Las Vegas, even before it was a shootout. Here comes Pastrana. Fonseca trying to gauge what kind of move Pastrana's going to make. Riding a little defensive, even though he's fast, coming through the ropes. It's a good place for Pastrana. Fonseca fishtails. Oh my goodness.
What balance by Pastrana. The rear end of Fonseca's bike clipped him and he stayed up.
And the crowd is going bananas right now. Fonseca just will not give up as Pastrana spins and loses time.
Okay, I think Pastrana right now needs to just settle down. He's got the speed, he can hang. Here's another look. Watch the whoops. Fonseca starts to dance around a little bit right here. Watch his rear end. It's going to swing over and hit the front end of Pastrana. He was on the clutch, the brake, kept his balance, never even had to put his foot down, and even had an opportunity maybe to get by, make a little block pass right there.
Remember the almost block pass, I don't think it was intentional last week, in which Fonseca slowed down and Pastrana hit the back tire, went down, and really put him out of the race as far as contending position is concerned. Here comes Pastrana once again. Fonseca comes back. They both do the triple. You can hear the fans. Here comes Pastrana. What a move. Fonseca, though, had the inside angle. Fonseca almost lost it. Pastrana back and forth. Hey, if Pastrana said that he had fun racing other races, let me tell you what he's going to say after this. He loves this kind of close action.
He's probably got a smile right now under that helmet, when most people will be a little bit nervous. He's trying to get it run at Fonseca through the whoops where Pastrana's normally strong, and Fonseca's holding on.
Now wants that podium, if not more, sticking close in third. A three-way battle here at the 125 shootout. David Pingree in fourth. Stefan Roncada back in sixth for those fans.
Only 4 laps into this main event, a 15-lap race, and it is side-by-side battling the whole way. I have no idea, Art. Usually I'm good at figuring out what's going to happen. I have no idea. Fonseca has answered the challenge of Pastrana, and I think Pastrana may be a little bit surprised right now by that.
And you know, Schnell, who's had an outstanding season as a privateer, is right there in case something should happen. And anything can happen between these two.
Well, if they keep messing with each other and wrecking each other's lines and opportunities, trying to block one another, Schnell can take advantage.
Schnell winning in San Diego and Dallas.
He's got to keep doing this triple, though. That's the key. If he doesn't do this triple,
Pastrana makes his move on Fonseca.
Fonseca trying to come back right there, cases that little double. Look at Pastrana, just speed up, makes this look so easy. The crowd is more than standing now. They're stomping their feet, screaming at the top of their lungs, and Travis is once again the center of all that attention.
Well, he's one of the most exciting riders ever to be in this sport, and it's his first year as a professional. Fonseca having some trouble in the whoops. Schnell trying to take advantage of that for third place. Tiger almost out on the court, almost out on the racetrack right there as Pastrana goes spinning by. A quick jumper, well, let's see why.
Watch Travis right here. They both get over the triple, but Travis jumps the next double where Fonseca got a little bit off balance there, had to roll it.
Stefan Roncada trying to make his way up through the field has just passed David Pingree. As Pastrana, our leader, Fonseca in second, Schnell in third, Roncada has moved into fourth. And we still have lots of laps to go. This is a 15-lap main event for the shootout.
Goes over the double jump, takes the outside. Now Pastrana has enough of a cushion over Fonseca. He's able to take the lines he wants, go wide to get a run at things, and not worry about that front wheel getting in there and running over his foot.
I had the feeling all season long Pastrana would be gearing toward this race because it was such a spectacular type situation. Stefan Roncada now trying to put the pressure on Snell, number 63.
Now look at this, Roncada has caught this pack. He's the fastest guy on the racetrack right now, and there's still time to catch the leader.
Wouldn't that be something to see Roncada and Pastrana going at it?
It just might. Roncada has got to make quick work of Schnell and his teammate Fonseca in order to have that chance.
The winningest rider in 125s this year, Roncada with 4 victories, trying to get by the privateer Greg Schnell. Schnell is right behind Fonseca, but Roncada's got to make a move soon here, David, or he doesn't really stand much of a chance of taking the lead.
Well, he matched Pastrana's last lap. Almost. A low 114 to Pastrana's 113.9, so he's definitely on the pace with the leader, but now that he's going to have to take different lines right here, possibly to get around, he's going to lose a little bit of time. It's hard to make back up on a guy like Travis. Or a kid, I should say.
Roncada back in 98. Got an 11th place start here. He passed 5 riders on the 3rd lap, and he makes his move into 2nd place.
Well, I don't think this race is over yet.
Pastrana, Roncada, Fonseca, and Schnell. And there's Roncada trying to hold on to his position now and further it to try to get close to Travis Pastrana.
I think Pastrana is going to need to get a pit board that says, hey, do not relax too much. If he does, Roncada can catch him, and it's hard to make the adjustment and start picking the pace back up again.
Roncada was so confident he could win this race, and he's got 8 laps to try to catch Travis Pastrana. Let's check out the pass now of Roncada making it by his teammate.
He came from the outside, was able to double that jump in between the whoop section where his teammate rolled through it. Just a little bit better line choice. Planned that all the way down the straightaway before he planned that about 2 corners ahead.
So Roncada now in the process of trying to chase down the leader. Is he in sight? Yes, he was at the end of that section as Roncada was entering it. Is Roncada that fast?
Yes, he is that fast. And
Pastrana himself said he's the fastest guy on the track in Chicago.
Right, I'll tell you what, towards the end of this race, you're going to get tired, the sweat's in your eyes, it splatters all over the lens, it's hard to see your line. You get into lapped riders, you start to feel the pressure. Roncada's got everything to gain right now, and Travis is trying to protect.
This is for 5th place. Brock Sellards and Nick Way, 2 very competent riders. Very steady riders as they go through the loops. Number 18 on the FMF Honda's Brock Sellards. Pro Circuit Kawasaki number 23. And then Chris Gosler on the Amsoil Honda, number 55. Gosler's got the speed to chase them both down.
He does, and he's the kind of kid that will get in there, jump something, go fast through something that just wasn't even there before. He's got so much aggression. It's difficult to mix aggression with having to be careful on this hard, slick track, though.
Badly in practice yesterday. After failing to qualify for 2 events this season, he came back to 2 podiums in the final 2 races of the 125 West season. Number 55, we're talking about Christian Gosler.
He's right there. He's got an opportunity to pick up 2 spots. I don't know if he can pick up more. He's not able to do this triple right here. I saw him doing it in practice, but if you got a rider in front of you and you're following him, it's too risky.
Cuts to the inside, has the advantage going into the whoops. Let's see who comes out of the whoops then. And it's Chris Gosler making a nice move on Nick Way. Pastrana continues to lead out in front as Roncada tries to chase him down. This is the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Here's our leader right now, number 199, Travis Pastrana.
Now here's what happened in the last lap. He did a 1:14.5. Roncada did a 1:13.4. So he is definitely catching him, and there's still time. 6 more laps. That's a heat race.
Pastrana will have the pressure on him all the way.
Look at that, though. Pastrana now starting to triple, heading into the other triple, making up tons of time. Roncada is not doing that same timing, and he's losing a little bit. That means that he is going so much faster on another section of the racetrack to make that back up and then some.
Mr. Excitement. Things happen when he's on the track, there's no question. And here's our third place rider, Ernesto Fonseca, and number 63, Greg Schnell, in the battle for third.
Well, Fonseca, Ernie, they call him, has done a fine job battling up front. That takes a lot of energy out of you, though, and then you try to settle back into a pace, and you can't really afford to do that because Schnell's still breathing down his neck.
Oh, this is a fast move section. They make it look fast.
I mean, when you get up down there close and look at them, they're just polished off. There's little knobs and ruts in them, things that start to back in, fishtailing side to side. And we've seen what happens if you start to get a little crooked. You're going down right away.
Schnell, one of the 5 first-time winners of the 25 season, and of course he got 2 victories, but his first one probably he'll remember forever and ever because it was before his family and friends in San Diego that he picked off his very first Supercross victory. And look at this, it's coming close, Fonseca and Schnell. This is the battle for third. You just tuned in. Schnell being very patient. He's not really overextending himself.
See a little piece of something hanging down from the bottom of Fonseca's bike. It's a piece of plastic that he picked up, getting a little too close to the edge of the racetrack, and it's gone to probably the foot peg. It's not causing him any problem right now. If that was back in the rear disc or something, that could melt and lose his rear brake. He's probably unaware of it.
For Shea Bentley fans, the champion out of the 125 West, he had to go home with a stomach ailment in the whoops. We've got Schnell trying to make a move. He was very straight. He was padded through the whoops, but he still couldn't get an edge to pass Fonseca. Pastrana is our leader with the 125 Eastern champion Stefan Roncada trying to chase him down.
And Travis recognized the challenge, obviously got the signal, has picked the pace back up, was able to stretch his lead out a little bit. Well, that looked a little sketchy there. Just barely gets over that triple, over the other triple. That's where he's been able to make up his time on top.
What's it look like trackside, Davey Combs?
Well, it looks like this to me. What in the world is Suzuki going to do with Travis Pastrana? I mean, you got Damon Huffman, a 250 factory right down the starting gate. Huffman is not jumping that triple into the stadium that Pastrana is doing on a 125. Travis is a tall kid. He's going to fit nicely on a 250, but when will it be too soon?
And he's such a mature individual, David Bailey. We got a good battle going on with Brock Sellards and Christopher Gosselaar now. Sellards is currently in 5th. And Nick Way gets into the action as well. Sellards, Gosselaar 55, and Nick Way number 23. The race within the race. Even though Pastrana has a pretty good lead, there's all kinds of action on this track. And I haven't seen this in a long time. It looks like a Texas A&M game. The crowd has yet to sit down.
They better not sit. As soon as they do, something else is going to happen. Somewhere on the racetrack, there's so much great talent out here. Travis seems to have things under control out front. You just never know. Left rider's a mistake. Roncada is back there matching his pace. He's not able to catch him like I thought he might. Travis has stepped it up.
What an interesting season this would be as you check out the lap times.
That last lap time, Travis picked it up and had a second advantage over Roncada, so he's definitely in control here.
Let's go back and check out Pastrana's style.
Well, there's places where you see him riding right on the toes. He's right on his tiptoes on the foot peg. And in places on the racetrack, when he's jumping that triple, he's dragging the bottom of the bike and the foot peg, and if he had his foot hanging off over the front of the foot peg, he could break his foot right there. It's the reason he's got to run on the toes.
The 250 being such a prestigious division, what would you do if you're Roger DeCoster and he came to you next year and said, hey, I want to ride a 250. I want to get with the big boys?
Well, I think there's a thing called too much too soon. In my opinion, Travis is 16. He's got a long career ahead of him. Why not go out, try to get that 125 title, get a #1 plate, and then move up? Plenty of time. Plus, Travis has even talked about And he talked about doing it here. He wanted to ride both classes tonight. I mean, how incredible would that be? Because he'd be getting off the bike, getting onto a 250, and he's got the kind of talent to go out and finish in the top 5.
And my word was that Roger DeCoster said he could do it if he won the title, 125 title. He did not win the title, so he didn't get a chance to try.
Well, that's motivation to stay in the 125 class next year, win the title, and be able to do that. It's never been done, to my knowledge, to the point that Travis could take it. And that would be finished perhaps on the podium in both classes. And there's no rest after this race to jump back on a 250. The fact that he's even considering it, pretty mature, pretty confident, good recovery right there, and obviously in great shape.
Obviously in great shape. It would, of course, be a 20-lap main event for the 250s with all that power. Final lap coming up. So we've had Shea Bentley, a champion in the West, Roncada, a champion in the East, and possibly one lap goes, and Travis Pastrana, a non-champion, picks off the 125 shootout. So who is the best rider at 125?
I have no idea. There's too many. Travis was so close to winning the title in the East. This is going to feel great to be able to come out here and go, look, I had the speed to do it. I'm young. I made a couple of mistakes, but check this out. He's approaching some triples. The crowd is definitely on their feet right now, wanting to see some of those freestyle tricks that got him gold medals.
Here's the future for Suzuki. Travis Pastrana, his first wins as a pro, as he heel clicks for the fans, was at Daytona. He backed it right up with a dome appearance and a victory in St. Louis.
He's got another triple right here, and the crowd is louder all the way around. Well, come on, show us some more.
A phenomenal rookie year. He puts a little nod to the crowd with the heel clicker this time.
I think the heel clicker is a little bit safer than some of the other Superman, seat grab, Indian air, whatever the heck he calls all that stuff. I think the heel clicker is the easiest one to do when he's this tired.
In such a difficult division, and also there's Lee McCullough, his mechanic, and also the shootout. The checkers are waving, and a nice calm roll over the finish line for Travis Pastrana, the winner of the 125 shootout. In one of the greatest seasons in 125 history, the front wheelie to celebrate.
What a display of balance right there. To be able to just get that thing up on the front brake and balance it on the front wheel. He gets a high five from Roncada right there. Good sportsmanship. These guys all like each other.
Obviously his third career win because it's his first season. And Travis Pastrana now getting some instructions to come on over.
I think he was wanting to go out there and ride around the track a little bit more.
I think the fans want him to, too.
Victory lap. They're saying, no, don't do that. We don't have time. We got to get that 250 main underway.
Yeah. Lee McCullough. And Lee says, I've never had anybody thank me for replacing spark plugs before, but this guy is so polite that he's just a joy to work with. And he goes over to shake hands with the second place finisher, Stefan Roncada, who is just as pleasant a young man.
Yep, it's not going to be long before these guys take the place of Jeremy McGrath in the 250 class. And it's great to see that they already have such a good respect for each other and so much talent and poise on camera at such a young age.
Well, he's already got his post-interview all figured out. Let's see what he has. Davey Coombs.
All right, Travis, never a dull moment with you.
Of course not, man. I don't know. I tried to keep it on two wheels. I succeeded this time. And, you know, I couldn't ask for anything better. I took some risky moves with Ernie, but I feel like I'm learning. I'm getting smoother. And listen to this crowd, man. It's so sweet. Man, I did that. My RM pulled me over that huge triple in the back. No other 125s are doing it. I was like, yes.
I know that this is your rookie year. You came in hoping maybe to do all right in the 125 East. You got a couple main event wins, but you lost that title at the last race in Chicago. Now you come out here and you beat the entire country, actually this country and France, in a 125 shootout.
Yeah, well, thanks. I mean, Stefan Roncada was riding pretty much my same pace. I just got out of the start a little bit better with my RM, and man, I can't say enough. I'm so excited. I'd like to thank No Fear, my mechanic, Lee McCullum, helping me out so much. Every lap, he's like crossed his fingers like, you can do it.
I know your longtime mechanic, Jeff Cerna, came out just to watch this race. Your whole family's here. You got to be stoked.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. You know, my mom, dad, some of my uncles. And any of you watching at home, I don't know if you stayed up this late. East Coast is kind of late, but Jim, Joe, thank you.
Okay, Travis Pastrana, as animated a talker as he is a rider on the track, that's for sure, takes the 125 shootout in front of all the champions. As we take a look at the Suzuki results board, Pastrana, Roncada, and Fonseca on the podium, with Greg Schnell in fourth, Brock Sellards And both outstanding seasons for those two young men. Nick Way in 6th. David Pingree fought back to 7th place. And for those fans out in the southeast, Shea Bentley unable to participate in the 125 shootout. Let's go to Robbie Floyd. Robbie?
Well, Craig, we're down here on the very inside gate. What is it that David likes about this inside? He might get shut off, and it might be a problem for him.
Yeah, he's open, you know, at least to come out of the turn, you know, without crashing. If he can get a good jump, then he has a position to, you know, go into the turn. If he gets, you know, maybe a little jump from Windham, he can just drop back and follow Windham through the turn.
What you're telling me is if he gets a good jump, you can expect to take everybody high.
Yep, he'll go deep into the turn.
All right, look for that one, guys. This is going to be a good one. I'm already starting to get a little chill bumps.
David Vuillemin taking the parade lap, checking out the last-minute changes on the track as we take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's 250 main event. So much on the line for this young man, David Vuillemin. $500,000 bonus, not counting the purse money, if he wins this, the 3rd round of the Vans Triple Crown. It's come down to almost a Hollywood script, David Bailey.
It's been unbelievable to think that this guy's been able to finish on the podium as many times as he has, grab all those wins against maybe the best field in 250 Supercross history.
Here is our Honda starting lineup as it's Vuillemin and Windham, the 2 top qualifiers, LaRocco and McGrath. Don't rule out LaRocco in this race tonight.
Now he is tough. You see how hot everyone is getting out there, and it's a physical battle. This main event with a little bit longer lap time and the temperatures here, it's a demanding track that requires great focus, and that's what he has. Down the stretch, LaRocco is very strong.
And the remainder of our 20-rider field for the 250s. Almost every rider here could play a role in the 3rd round of the Vans Triple Crown. And of course, you've heard already from the pre-race interviews of Kevin Windham and Jeremy McGrath, they are not going to let this guy, even though he's a wonderful young man, take this $500,000 out of the country.
That's just, you know, if I was in Vuillemin's shoes, I'd be like, come on, you guys, let me have it.
Give you a little split.
Yeah, they're just making it even harder now. But there's a look at McGrath getting ready to get lined up. Now, here's something I find interesting. Vuillemin last week lined up all the way on the inside. Didn't get a good jump out of the gate, got closed off. McGrath was further to the outside, moved to the inside, bunched up the pack. Carmichael went down right in front of Vuillemin. He crashed. He actually didn't crash, but he was in last. That could happen again here. He's starting in the same place.
Look at the stare of concentration on Vuillemin's face.
And he's starting right next to Kevin Windham, who gets out of the gate like you wouldn't believe. So if Kevin can get out good, you can bet he's going to make a left. He's not happy with Vuillemin's pass last week. I don't think there's anything wrong with the pass. He just caught Kevin by surprise, and he figured, hey, if I can use that as motivation to go out in Las Vegas and win the race, I will.
A sold-out crowd in this expanded stadium to 38,856, the largest fan base in this stadium since they remodeled it, to see the 250 Vans Triple Crown. The board is sideways. We're almost set to go. The main event from Las Vegas is underway. Windham, a good start.
Bad jump for Vuillemin.
Carmichael. McGrath right there. Windham and Tortelli come out of it side by side on the red Hondas with McGrath right behind him. And LaRocco a great start. Then Vuillemin is in 5th. That's not a bad position for Vuillemin.
Not what he would like, but at least he's not mid-pack. That would be horrible. And as far as he came through the pack last week from nearly last to 2nd place, he knows all he needed to do was get close. With contention, you have a chance to win this race.
Windham gets the Yahoo.com whole shot $1,000, and it looks like he wants to take away with the race here.
Well, he's got his teammate back there to ride block for a little while. It's got to be a little bit of a strategy. Honda would love to win this final race, steal that Vuillemin rather from winning that $500,000 and try to beat McGrath as well.
Yeah, but could Tortelli get back to the France if he blocked out Vuillemin?
Well, I don't know if I care right now.
Rider going down.
That's Mike Craig, number 43, front end washed out. As soon as he threw it into that berm, that front end just didn't stick.
Jeremy McGrath now starting to put some heat. Here's Vuillemin.
He had to roll. He had to roll through that double. LaRocco has already talked about he doesn't really like Vuillemin that much. He's doing all he can to block him. You can see right now it's starting to frustrate David. Looks like he might be able to make a move, though. He's on the inside.
Well, David Vuillemin had 6 laps behind LaRocco before he finally got around him in Chicago to get up to 2nd place.
That was brilliant by LaRocco. Vuillemin had the pass made, had the inside. LaRocco just said, I'm going to blitzed this outside, got him back. Look at that.
He goes off the track. Vuillemin goes off the track, no contact. He just stayed away from LaRocco.
LaRocco didn't give him any room. I think David would have been a lot smarter to just play that safe and just let LaRocco have the line. Now it's cost him another position in Carmichael. Good luck getting by both these guys.
So Vuillemin is in 5th position right now. Let's take another look at that very significant move.
Well, Vuillemin had already made a pass. LaRocco got him back, and Vuillemin's trying to get him on the outside. LaRocco's saying no way. He doesn't really push him or anything. It was just Vuillemin had too much speed going in, and before he couldn't do the double to get back over that tunnel, and Carmichael got by.
So Vuillemin now trying to take on Carmichael, gets a little squirrely as he tries to extend himself a little bit past the limit. Kevin Windham is still our leader with Jeremy McGrath in 2nd place. Tortelli now in 3rd.
I can tell you right now that every single rider in front of Vuillemin are all the guys that talked about, I would love to be the one that keeps him from getting that 500,000. I don't see, it's going to take a miracle for him to get by all these guys and have a shot at winning this race, but I didn't think he'd come back to 2nd last week either. You never know.
So Windham continues to lead. McGrath, though, he needs a win to take away that $25,000 consolation prize in the Vans Triple Crown.
Well, Windham's got about a 2-second lead over him. He stayed about the same last couple of laps. And what's happening right now amongst all these top riders, clear back to Vuillemin, this top 6, they all run pretty much the same pace. The lap time's 110, 111, 112.
Beautiful move by Vuillemin to take Carmichael. Boy, that was a slick move, David Bailey.
This guy, that's why they call him the Cobra, man. He can strike anywhere, anytime. He doesn't need the groove to make his pass. He can go anywhere and get
He
creative.
doesn't even puff up like a Cobra. Let's take another look.
Carmichael going to the outside. Vuillemin just comes right in there and catches him by surprise. I don't think Carmichael realized he was that close. Shouldn't have gone wide. He was trying to get back out of there and cover the inside, but it was too late.
Vuillemin moves up to 5th place now. Mike LaRocco was next on the list, and you know what happened the last time they started rubbing plastic.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if Vuillemin just parked him in the cheap seats. I mean, he's got to be irritated with the way LaRocco was blocking. I don't think it was any dirty riding on LaRocco's part, but he obviously was trying to make sure it was very difficult for Vuillemin to make the pass.
Here is our leader, Kevin Windham, by 2.5 seconds at last count.
He's stretching it out a little bit. That last lap, a 109 by Windham. That's what he was turning in the heat races. He's getting better with time.
Boy, would this be vindication after a very, very difficult season. He got 2 podiums in the first 3 races, David Bailey, and then went into a funk. And it was tough to get out of.
Well, he's out of it now. And he just pulled away from Jeremy in that heat race. And he's got to be thinking about that now. And it's going to wear a little bit on Jeremy as well. If Jeremy loses time again in the next lap and the one after that, he might start to feel like he's been beaten.
There's Larry Brooks giving a signal of sorts as McGrath goes by in 2nd place. I did not expect Windham to dominate this much. But here comes, stepping up the wick a bit, number 1.
McGrath square in that corner, trying to shave off a little bit of racetrack. He's starting to lose contact with Kevin Windham. He comes up a little short right there. Really has to use his body, not just go right over the handlebars. Jumps that triple. No real mistakes that are costing him any time. Last lap through a 110. So he loses a little bit of time, but it's a 110.1. So he's still fairly consistent.
The interval after the last lap is 3.2 seconds. As we check out now, Mike LaRocco in 4th, and here comes Vuillemin, number 934. What's going to happen this time when Vuillemin makes the jump?
Oh, it's going to get ugly. I have a feeling he's going to go in and make the ugliest block pass of the year. Windham thought that was a problem last week. Wait till LaRocco gets a load of this. If he leaves the door open a little bit, Vuillemin's going to wedge his way in there.
Boy, look at the speed he takes into the corners.
Watch the momentum he gets off this berm right here. He may be able to make a double pass right here.
And that's Tortelli losing a position to LaRocco. And here comes Vuillemin trying to do the same. Trying to cut to the inside to take 3rd away from Tortelli.
Watch Vuillemin. He takes the outside through here. He'll have the inside in the next corner.
Vuillemin using the strategy.
He is out for LaRocco right now. He does not like that guy.
LaRocco's moved up to 3rd. Vuillemin is now in 4th.
This is an impressive ride by Vuillemin. I mean, you can see in certain sections it pretty much is one-line situation, and Vuillemin is still able to find ways around people. Watch him dive to the end. Well, he's been diving to the inside right there.
Most of the eyes focused on what David Vuillemin does, as Kevin Windham now has a 3.4-second lead on Jeremy McGrath.
Vuillemin needs to get a run right here to this group section. He was so fast through there in practice. Gets a little crooked, but corrects it. He's able to sweep that corner a little bit better by going down the right side of the whoop section. Doesn't have any pressure, doesn't have to worry about anybody coming underneath him. He's setting LaRocco up. He's thinking all the time, and I guarantee LaRocco's worried about it.
I don't know. He's got to get closer to LaRocco to beat him in those whoops, but he's got such nice moves in the corner.
LaRocco tripling into that corner right there.
Vuillemin getting over ever so close now. Looking for his opportunity to get the angle on LaRocco as they go in the back, and this is where LaRocco gave him the problem, and he went off the track earlier.
Now he's got to be patient right here. It's only the 6th lap, 14 to go. Plenty of time. If he can get around LaRocco and start clicking off a second a lap from the leaders, not that far behind. Lapped riders at the end, guys get tired, make mistakes, the track gets worse. It's possible.
It looks a little like Chicago with LaRocco being able to stay in front of Vuillemin lap after lap.
I thought it would take Vuillemin a lot longer to get around Carmichael and Tortelli, but I mean, listen to me changing my tune, Art. I was saying I didn't think it would take a miracle for him to get back up there and have a shot at winning this race, but he's making a believer out of me right here.
The finish line, up they go. This is the battle for 3rd place. Number 934, David Vuillemin tries to get inside, just didn't quite, wasn't close enough to make the block pass as LaRocco came out of the corner.
Tried a little bit too hard right there to get tight. I thought he had a shot at getting down the straightaway and changing his line and cutting back to the inside, making a block pass.
Be smart, the mechanic for David Vuillemin.
Well, back there, he tried for a little bit too much, Art. You see, he lost all that time, precious time. That's time where if LaRocco was to make a mistake while he has this cushion, he's not going to lose a position. Vuillemin has got to stay close to have a chance to pass.
Meanwhile, our leader, as we take a look at there, is Kevin Windham, number 14. 1 victory, 6 podiums on the year. He's led 22 laps before this race. 2 of those in Pontiac, the rest in Texas. And he has led every lap of this main event so far.
They're talking about having to work your way through the lap riders. He's got a 5-second lead now for McGrath. Starting to feel the same thing he felt in the heat race, that he just does not have enough for Windham tonight. He won't give up. He'll stay close. 5-second lead is nothing. The laps that are remaining, still over halfway to go. McGrath have a little tough time right there, not able to use the line he wants, he'll lose a little bit of time there to Windham. It depends on the luck when you catch the lapped riders. If you catch them at the right place, you're able to work around no problem and not lose any time. McGrath got a little unlucky right there. He lost a fraction of a second, but that's all it really takes.
Guest is coming in the broadcast booth, Steve Harwell, the lead singer for the Smash Mouth group.
Hanging out with you guys. Oh, this is crazy.
Jeremy McGrath in 2nd place. He's going to take it. Trying to catch up. He's 3.8 seconds down now.
He's going to take it.
So he's picked it up.
Yeah.
I think it was a mistake by Kevin Windham out front. I didn't see Jeremy do anything special. Kevin made a little bit of a bobble, possibly trying to get around a lapped rider, and Jeremy is closing in.
We're still not at the halfway point.
I'll tell you what's really starting to shape up is the fact that LaRocco has picked up the pace so much in that battle with Vuillemin that they're not that far behind McGrath. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4 battle down the stretch.
I think McGrath's setting him up there now, just kind of laying back, letting him make mistakes.
Here comes McGrath on the outside. Take another look at the mistake. Hung up with traffic, really, Jason Thomas.
That knocked 2 seconds off his lead right there.
Didn't see him really having to hesitate that much to get around Jason, but somewhere along the line he lost a few seconds to McGrath. And he wasn't nervous before, and he's definitely got to be nervous now. McGrath and that big number 1, all those wins, all that intimidation can rent every floor in your head. Kevin now isn't thinking about the track in front of him. He's got to be thinking about McGrath closing in.
Steve, you got a favorite rider out here?
McGrath, definitely. Boy Wonder's going to catch him. So.
He always seems to.
You ride, Steve?
A little bit, you know, my scooter, it's like training wheels, you know. I'm a little paranoid of this. This is like this level we're here, like, you know, a little crazy level. I'd rather sing in the band than ride this bike.
I don't know, sometimes it's pretty dangerous up there too.
Yeah, sometimes, but not like this. I see guys walking around with broken spleens and shoulders hanging out, and I'm like, okay, you guys can have this.
Our leader right now is number 14, Kevin Windham, but a challenge is underway by number 1. The 7-time Supercross champion, Jeremy McGrath.
The boy wonder.
At one point, Vuillemin was 11 seconds down on the leader. Now it's only to 8. He's got McGrath and LaRocco between him. So I talked about this being possibly a 4-way battle down the stretch. These guys are closing in on each other.
Boy, it's another great battle between Vuillemin and LaRocco shaping up now. Check out McGrath and his pursuit of Kevin Windham. You see LaRocco not far behind him. You're right, David. He came out of the shadows behind number 1.
We talk about it all the time. If these were 25 or 30 lap main events, LaRocco would pick off as many wins as McGrath. He gets stronger. We're getting to that part of the race. 10 to go.
Pavoni sees McGrath go by him. And Jeremy continues to click off the lap riders going through the whoops now. Here's Vuillemin, number 934. Still trying to chase down Mike LaRocco.
Look at the strength it takes to save that.
A little loose there right there.
Vuillemin, of course, coming from Europe, a little bit concerned about the heat. He's wearing a Bennett jersey right there. He's got short sleeves, trying to get some more circulation in there. When we start getting hot as the end of the race, we're approaching that part. 9 to go now. These guys are tired.
Can Jeremy do it right now?
He's close enough.
Can he do it?
Close enough. Hey, you got to look at the guy's record.
I know.
9 laps to go. And
I'm like, can he do it? I'm like, what do you think? Can he do it? He did it how many times now?
Yeah, he's got 69 wins. Why not make it 70 here in Vegas?
What's one more? What's one more?
You guys get an appropriate song. All-Star.
Yeah. Well, because, you know, McGrath is an all-star when it comes to riding bikes. He's the man everybody wants to beat and everybody wants to be, so, you know.
Who inspired the song?
Actually, the song is just about, you know, the song's really about this kid. You know, I think everybody's an all-star inside, you know. Some kids get, you know, treated differently, but I think everybody's an all-star. You just got to find it inside yourself, so.
How about a song about Supercross? I've never heard one of those.
Well, that's coming next. That's
okay.
Next record.
I'll wait for that.
Steve Harwell, thanks a lot for joining us. It's great. Back to the racing time now as McGrath starts to inch back up. At the last lap, it was 2.37. Looks like it's closing within that now. And we got a 2.9 on the last interval.
This is going to be a gut check for Kevin Windham. He is going to have to withstand the most pressure of the season. Dallas, his win there. McGrath went down the first lap. Not taking away the fact that Kevin was fast there. He was fast. He matched McGrath's pace. Beat him in the heat race as well. But here, he's got pressure. He's got McGrath back there, and that bothers him. You see that he's gaining a little bit here, a little bit there, and you see lapped riders in front of you. You're starting to worry, going, I hope I can get through these guys. I hope I don't catch them in the wrong spot. You're thinking. When you start thinking too much, you start making mistakes.
Kevin Windham trying. A 2-time winner this season. That would be 3 years in a row. But can he hold off as he passes the reward?
Gets around him, no problem. Upshifts right there. They come out of that corner probably in second. Upshift to third. Uh-oh. What a great reaction right there. Voss just went sideways across the track right in front of Windham. He was able in the middle of that whoop section to make the correction and avoid a disaster.
So a close call for Kevin Windham. We'll see if the same courtesy is given Jeremy McGrath as we take a look at the helmet cam. And Jeremy McGrath just went through the snow.
Vuillemin losing time now. I talked about at one point he was 11 seconds back. He closed it to 8. Now he's 12 seconds back. So the heat here may be starting to get to him. He had to use so much energy making all those passes. I think he could be a little tired. His spirit may be a little bit broken.
Jeremy McGrath looking for win number 7 Supercross Olympia.
Well, the fact that Jeremy doesn't ride all the outdoor races is pretty much it for Jeremy. He does not want to end his season with a second place.
I always had the feeling, too, that, hey, they're going to forget about his 7th championship if Vuillemin wins the Triple Crown. That's all anybody's going to remember out of this season.
Well, that's not going to happen now. It looks like with the positions, if they stay the way they are, Jeremy might pick up that consolation 25 grand. A win would make that a little bit better, and look how close he's getting now.
Jeremy McGrath now is like a heat-seeking missile on number 14.
Shaved a second. You can see it, of course, but he shaved a second off of Windham's lead that time, and the crowd can sense that they have not sat down.
Jeremy McGrath, who this year became Yamaha's all-time winningest rider. And a big mistake by Kevin Windham. Press him and look, dig deeper.
That's exactly. Kevin's going to have to reach down deep to be able to hold off McGrath right here. He cannot ride a defensive race. I guarantee you he's tight. You can't relax. He's got to just get back. I mean, if he's able to hold him off, what a victory this would be for him and his head and the rest of the season.
Jeremy McGrath wants his 10th victory of the season in the last race here in Las Vegas. Jeremy McGrath won his very first 125 race here in Las Vegas. It was on a Kawasaki. Let's go down to Robbie.
Well, with Randy Lawrence, and you know what? That tire change might be the difference. Randy, that little tread pattern might be making all the difference right now.
Well, I'm not sure if it's just that. He's riding a little bit better right now. Kevin's riding really good. We did change the tire. He's getting to the whoops a little bit better. He just caught back up to Kevin, and it's going to make an exciting race. We've got a few laps left, so we'll see what happens.
It'll be a close one, guys.
5 laps to go. And Windham and Jeremy McGrath. Jeremy McGrath gets the block pass on Windham. Can Windham come back now and make a good go of it? A lapper. Jeremy McGrath hops the bank. 5 laps. Focus, Randy Lawrence says.
He's yelling at him, the emotion in that mechanics area. I guarantee him McGrath can't hear a thing going through there. He sees the sign. It doesn't matter. Randy wants this for his rider just as bad as Jeremy. These guys love to win. Lapping Grayson Goodman, he's just enjoying watching this race. His last ride, his best friend in the lead. Pulls the tearaway, clears the vision. That just messes with the head of the guys behind. You pull that tearaway and he's going, uh-oh. He's confident. I've seen this before. Kevin's got to stay close and do the same back to Jeremy. Keep the pressure on. Very few people pressure Jeremy late in the race.
Check the pass again, David Bailey, on Kevin Windham by
just
number 1.
Coming out of the finish line, Kevin knew it already. Saw him look over right there. He left us a little bit too much room. Jeremy had an easy move of it. Just the inside away. I thought Kevin over there, using the left side, would have the inside at the end of that straightaway, could maybe get him back. That would have changed things quite a bit, but he just didn't have enough.
So Jeremy McGrath now with one mission in mind, and that's just take away from number 14.
Now he's starting to inch away just a little bit.
And the question is for Windham, maybe, can he hold on to second?
You see that breathe, focus. Yes, you can. I mean, whatever they got to tell these guys, and it's good advice for Jeremy right now by Randy saying, breathe and focus, just like you've done a million times. In the breathing part, you're holding your breath sometimes out there. You've got so much going on. You're processing so much information, reading the track, shifting, clutch, where you're going to pass the guy that sometimes holds your breath. Now that he's got that little cushion, he can afford to relax, breathe, focus on the track, do what he's done so many times before. Win number 70 if he hangs on.
Jeremy McGrath, the winningest rider here in Las Vegas in a very short period of time. He has 3 wins prior to this. He should hold on. One was on a Honda, that was in 1994, and in the last 2 seasons back-to-back on the Chaparral Yamaha.
So many reasons for Jeremy to party as he gets a little out of shape there at the end of that whoop section here in Vegas. What a great place to cap the season. He won his 7th title. Looks like he's going to win the race. He's going to pick up the money. That's going to be a good party.
David Vuillemin coming into this race looking for $500,000, saying he's not going to bother his mind. But he just couldn't get around the very aggressive and talented Mike LaRocco.
I'll tell you what, Art, remember yesterday after the practice session, we were sitting up here watching things, and we saw Jeremy out there walking the track again with the team manager, Larry Brooks, after the practice. I mean, just didn't you get the feeling that he just was very focused and he wasn't going to just rest and go, I already got the title, I'll try, and if it's not coming to me, I'm not going to dig that deep. He does deep here.
And it's the first time I really remember him coming back after practice, the first day of practice, and walking the track with no one there except his team leader, Larry Brooks.
It's funny, too, talking with Brooks sometimes. Like, what do you guys talk about right there? He's going, oh, I mean, like, what are you going to tell Jeremy, you know? And he kind of laughed, and he goes, well, sometimes you look at a section, and Jeremy's been able to jump before, and Brooks is saying, yeah, you can do that. And he's going, I don't know. He's going, yeah, but you did it something just like this in St. Louis. And Jeremy goes, oh, yeah. It surprises me the things that Jeremy forgets out there.
This will be the 14th win for Yamaha this season, their greatest season ever in Supercross.
I'll tell you what's going on behind McGrath, though. See that? Number 5 is closed in on Windham. I was about to say I'm impressed with Windham, even though he got passed. He was staying pretty close to Jeremy, and he has to. Look at LaRocco.
Yes. LaRocco wants the second place.
They're only just under 4 seconds down. So LaRocco has got an opportunity.
Here's LaRocco making a bold move. He went to the outside this time. And Windham comes right back again.
Windham almost goes off the racetrack into the fence.
Amsoil Honda of Mike LaRocco, the independent team, the highest points getter this season for a Honda rider.
2 to go, and LaRocco is close enough that he can make a move on McGrath if McGrath relaxes a little too much.
Would that be something? LaRocco, who has not won a race since 1995, he scored his very first 250 Supercross victory right here in Las Vegas, back in 1991.
Let's take another look at how LaRocco got around Windham. There was no room back there. They went out of the stadium. He goes around the outside. That's what Vuillemin was trying to do to him. Almost lock elbows right there. And Kevin was just kind of dogging around this inside right here, trying to protect it, but he drifted wide. LaRocco just cut back to the inside and handled it.
LaRocco now trying to get by Matt Shue in the final lap as Jeremy McGrath looks like he's got win number 70, 10 on the season, pretty well wrapped up.
He was able to pull out about a second and a half that last lap. He gained some time somewhere. LaRocco made a little mistake. At just under 4 seconds, grew to 5.5.
There's our number 1, Jeremy McGrath.
We might see one more knack-knack before Jeremy takes his summer vacation. There it is.
McGrath and the crowd just loves it.
This guy's amazing. I question where he gets his drive, his motivation to go out and win. He really doesn't have to. I don't know. The guy just loves to win. He's here to win. He doesn't really ever want to rest and ride out his cushion. Talked about that last week in Joliet. Where he's improving.
If you count the 13 Supercross wins in the 125 action, plus and the checkers for Jeremy. Win number 10 on the season, win number 70 of a career. And if you count his 125 victories, he has reached the century mark in victories in AMA action.
Well, you know, I mean, who's done that? I mean, Richard Petty, well, he's got 100 wins. They call him the king. I think it's fair to say that Jeremy has got that status here in Supercross.
And he sets the fireworks off. David Vuillemin does not get the $500,000. I do believe he will get, though, the $25,000 consolation prize. We'll have to check the points out. The highest points maker of the 3 Vans Triple Crown races would get the consolation prize. With McGrath winning and Vuillemin placing in 4th, I believe he has 1 more point. There's 934, David Vuillemin.
He tried hard. He gave it everything he had. Didn't get the start he needed. He was close. I thought that may be close enough, but he had a tough time getting around LaRocco, made some mistakes, made up the time, but it took so much energy, he just ran out of steam down the stretch. Oh, it would have been, you can see the frustration right there. He's mad. He is mad, disappointed. He wanted to win this. Kind of saved the fact that he didn't win the title.
And just the opposite is Jeremy McGrath with Davey Coombs.
All right, Jeremy, the fireworks are going off behind you. 70 career wins. You just shut the Frenchman out of $500,000.
Well, you know, all the pressure was off me. It was on him. The monkey was on his back. He had to win. And Kevin and I had a great fight. You know, it was awesome. I'd like to thank my team, Mazda Chaparral Yamaha, all the guys at Yamaha, Randy Lawrence, my parents, my girlfriend, my sister, everyone that's supported me through the whole year. This is my 11th win this year. Bridgestone tires, because we made a different call from the heat race, and I was swapping out all over the place and put a new tire on there. The thing was working great.
Jeremy, congratulations. 7 titles, 8 overall, all-time Supercross king.
Thanks a lot, Davey. It's a great, you know, who would have thought I'd be up here even for 1? My dream was to race Supercross when I was little, and 70 wins later, I don't know what's going on. Thanks.
Well, David Vuillemin certainly did rise himself to the occasion, though, at times throughout the season to motivate Jeremy McGrath toward 10 victories this year. Jeremy, as you see on the Honda results page, taking this one the final race of the season as we go down the 20-rider field. Mike LaRocco gave it a good show.
fireworks just not stopping here. What a show. What a better place to celebrate than, look at it. The showgirls there in the background. McGrath obviously happy. Windham has got to be happy with the way he rode. But still a little bit of disappointment there.
Let's go to Robbie Floyd as the fireworks continue.
Well, not a bad finish for Michael LaRocco here. Mike, what was going through your head when you saw Vuillemin trying to pass you on the outside? That was a pretty close call there for a moment.
Yeah, actually, he ended up running off the track, but Jerry Bernardo painted my helmet this week, and he said whoever gets in front of me and roosts me, I should take out. And, unfortunately, it happened to be Vuillemin who was going for the, 500 grand. But, he tried hard early, and then I think he saw it was away, and I just tried to get up as far as I could.
Long way around on that outside. Now, what about towards the end also? Did you really think you were going to catch Windham with only a couple of laps left?
I saw he was on his way back, so I knew if McGrath got him that I had a real good chance because I was pacing Jeremy. So, yeah, I wanted to get him. That was my last goal. I didn't think I could catch Jeremy, and that's where I ended up.
Well, guys, never give up. Back to you up in the booth.
Let's check out the final point standings for the season 2000 for EA Sports Supercross. As you see here, McGrath finishes the season 35 points ahead of Vuillemin. That is the slightest margin that McGrath has finished a winning season with. 48 was the previous slightest margin, so Vuillemin really did. He came to race, and he had a terrific rookie year. Let's go back down for the final thoughts now from Davey Coombs.
Well, obviously, Jeremy McGrath just proved again for the 70th time why we like to call him the king of Supercross. There's a lot of pressure, of course, on Vuillemin. He comes out here, he's got one race to go in the season. He's got the title already wrapped up, but you know what? It doesn't matter. MC likes to win, and he goes out in 2000, another winner.
David?
It's just unbelievable. And he's said before, he doesn't want to be the fastest guy. He doesn't even need to be one of the fastest guys. He needs to be the smartest guy. He was patient in that race and let the race come to him.
Jeremy McGrath just proving once again what a great icon he is for the sport of Supercross. As the crowd very anxiously cheered his pass. And, of course, the Knack-Knacks just put the exclamation point on another great season, his 7th championship in 8 years, but another time with 10 victories. This is the 4th time with 10 or more victories in a season.
I really have a hard time trying to think of anybody that has maintained and gone through generations of athletes other than somebody like Michael Jordan. But the kind of dominance that Jeremy has had to be able to win that many races every year. I mean, he had to deal with Jeff Stanton. He had to deal with Jean-Michel Bale, Damon Bradshaw. Then, Windham comes along, now Vuillemin. But no matter who it is, he's always got an answer.
And just keeps being motivated by the fact of winning races, not just titles. Let's go down to Robbie.
Jeremy McGrath been in the past. Are you going to really take a vacation last year? You told us the same deal, and you worked just as hard as you always have.
So it's going to be a tough one out there, but McGrath is the past and the present, but this guy is our future.
He's talking about Travis Pastrana right behind him. Maybe Travis might have an opinion on tonight's race as he, I know, viewed it from the sidelines down there. Travis? No, he can't hear us. Robbie?
Think about the race out there tonight. That was one heck of a battle for McGrath, and you'd had a pretty spiffy ride yourself.
Man, I feel this was just a great night all around. I got out to an awesome start with my Suzuki, and I had an awesome battle with Ernesto Fonseca, Greg Snell going back and forth. That was a lot of fun. Then after that, just had to buckle down, and I was doing this one triple, so that really helped me out. And then Stefan Roncada really came through the pack.
Well, he's a rookie this year, guys. Look out in that outdoor series. All I got to see. Back to you.
This is Art Ekman along with David Bailey, Davey Coombs, and Robbie Floyd. Thanking you for being a part of Supercross history tonight, the first live televised Supercross ever in the United States. As we leave you, we'd like to take a look at more Supercross action. In fact, a tribute to Jeremy McGrath.
My plan to go out there is not only be the fastest guy or be one of the fastest guys.
Oh my God!
But my plan is to be smarter than everyone else.
Look at the focus and the intensity in the eyes of McGrath.
By the bar for a second, McGrath looks back at David Vuillemin.
And Jeremy just looked over at Vuillemin and rubbed it in.
Can they stay with Jeremy?
I know he's a rider that gets real confident, and when that happens, he's really tough to beat.
He knows when it comes race time, he can win.
He's got so much confidence over everybody. Hopefully one or more of us can take him down and you know, make it interesting.
I want to come out and whip these guys, period.
Our leader, Jeremy McGrath, just simply pulling away.
He can just mail in second. He is so strong.
The winningest rider in history. And the checkers are starting to wave for Jeremy McGrath.
He always seems to find a way to go just a little bit faster than the next guy.
But McGrath right there, just giving a clinic.
McGrath the king once again for the 7th time in Supercross.
I mean, anybody, I can beat him one race. Anybody can beat him one race. He's beaten him 16 races, and that's why he's champion.